Greetings, and thank you, Death Star, for the subscription. How you doing, everyone? How you doing, dumb mangy wolves? Welcome to your Friday edition of Runescape Weekly. Joining me today is the RRman.
I went through the ED dungeons with him the other day, and I actually got legitimate kills. I stayed there for the kills,
And him.
which is great. The ambassador we had to do a couple of times, but I got, he said tag and jump. So the first time I tagged and jumped, and then they did a second run, and he said, "Well, do you want to just stay and try it?" And I actually got a legitimate kill, so I was really happy.
Well, I approve then.
But you just watch him, the way he kills him. I mean, he's hitting 3 times the amount I am.
Yeah.
I mean, he's worth 3 of me basically when he does so.
That's probably about
It's just
5 of me then.
It's just so crazy to watch.
How you doing?
Hello.
How was ED3? I only got through ED1 and 2 with y'all. It was fun though.
It was absolutely awesome.
I really enjoyed that. David was a machine.
Isn't he?
Yeah. How many times did you die on ED3?
Twice.
That's pretty good. I died to every boss. I wiped on every effing boss.
I thought they wanted something to be easier.
Hey, love, tell you welcome.
You didn't. Not in ED2, did you?
Yeah, I didn't finish the final boss in ED2.
No, but you got through. We got through the first one without you dying in ED2.
I'll take it. Sure, if you say so. Anyway, we have a pretty good show for you lined up today. We're going to cover, obviously, this week's topics, and we're going to combine them with last week's drama from old school RuneScape. We had kind of a half and half show. We didn't get to finish it, so I want to finish it.
Drama? Why was there drama?
I mean, you could maybe call it drama. I would call it drama, Pyrn.
I thought it was quite a good thing that they were doing and voted yes. You know, I thought it was something that was really needed. So I thought it was a good thing.
I personally would have voted yes as well. I mean, I couldn't vote yes because my account did not have the appropriate skill level.
That annoys me because they can come over here without the appropriate levels or playtime and such and vote on ours, yet we can't do the same on theirs. I was lucky because I have been playing a bit mobile. Oh, I just got the free aggro overload potion.
Yeah, me
from
too.
the Motherload Mall.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Motherload Mall.
I'm gonna save it for
but yeah,
free meal there.
Sorry, what was I saying? Yeah, I because I play a bit with the what am I saying? Mobile. When I sort of go down the shops and such, I just pull up RSOS on mobile. So I actually had all the playtime and everything okay there to be able to vote in it. So
right, I did not. I should be playing. No, I shouldn't. What am I talking about? Anyway, we are going to cover the partnerships that they proposed to the community that was wholeheartedly rejected. Well, we'll talk about the stream of events that went through the community. And again, it will be an interesting timeline. I'm looking forward to going through it. So I will also mute my phone. Oh, yeah, I'll do that too. So beyond that, I think we're pretty much ready to get into the show. Unless anyone else has anything else they want to say.
No, I'll save my real comments till later.
Yeah, me too. As soon as there's that good old mute button. So I found out that the Samsung Galaxy S10 can charge other wireless phones. That is amazing.
Yes, it can.
That is so cool. Anyway, I've never I haven't interacted with another human being in 3 years. So yeah, it was just I've never seen another smartphone and another modern smartphone either. So it was just a wild experience. Anyway,
so it's really good for stealing all your information.
Yeah, right. I gotta update the title. I forgot. RuneScape Weekly. This is 7/12. 19. I always forget to do something. The land out of time. And this is not Magebit in the morning either, is it? This is Runescape Weekly.
Whoa.
I mean, it's technically it's Magebit.
Magebit, your Magebit, it is the morning.
Right. But you all are not.
On the 12th of
12th.
Even wrong information left and right here. Mage awestruck by advancing technology. Yeah, it was cool. I was just like, why would you want this? Like, why? Like, just sucking the life.
My phone dies fast enough.
Right? It's like, well, here's the thing. It's like the altruism. No one has that. Like, hey, my phone's dying. Can I have some of your phone's power? No, because then my phone's gonna be dead. You ass. Like, here's the thing. Well, here's the thing.
Well, what they're saying, the reason for it, just to give it a quick charge to make a phone call. If someone needs to borrow your phone, you don't now need
Everyone
to lend them your
walks
phone.
around with power banks. Get your own power bank. I do. I have two of them right here.
I do not have a power bank.
I have two. These are two 20,000 milliamp power banks. I walk around with them, and if somebody
Pyrn doesn't need it. He charges his phone once a month.
Every third day, thank you.
I charge $5 a minute. I'm joking. You need a charge? You come up to me. No, I'm always. I got two different types of cables in each one. I got USB-C, and I got the other type.
I got some energy for you. Want a taste? First lot's free.
I'm a cyborg. I only take rune coins. They made jumper key. Yeah, they do have a jumper key. Here's the thing. I remember. I told the story the other day. I just said, like, can we start the show? And here I am now going off on a
tangent
about how my car battery died in the parking lot.
You charged it with your Samsung phone?
Well, you can buy those like little USB chargers that will actually charge your car battery. But anyway, let's start the show.
You can put your car on fire with a Samsung phone.
You can.
Yeah. Let's go.
All right. I got the I got everything up here. Thank you, James. Thank you, James.
I think I told the story about the rep and his boss for Samsung when I was driving to work not long after all the Samsung phone debacle with the fire happened. Didn't I?
What happened?
Yes, we did.
Yes. Oh,
when his boss was in, and I said, "Oh, I just saw the Samsung car on the road, the one that was on fire on the side of the freeway."
Yeah.
His boss wasn't happy. Didn't laugh.
I wonder why.
No sense of humor.
Here's the worst thing that ever happened to me. This dumbest thing that I think I ever said with one of my supervisors right behind me. He's like, somebody brought up like a brand new computer that like broke day like one. They brought it back up, and they were like, I can't believe this died like day one. And I'm like, it was like really late at night, and I was like, I wanted to go home. I'm like, I couldn't think of anything. I'm like, yeah, they don't make them like they used to. My manager was not happy about that one. He's like, yeah, they don't make them like they used to. They make them better. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, there's a reason why your computer used to cost $5,000.
What's going on?
And now costs $800. They don't make it like they used to.
How you going, Pure Sushi? What's up, buddy? I love you. All right, I'm really going to start a show this time, though, okay?
Are you sure?
No more anecdotes. 3, 2, 1. You're listening to RuneScape Weekly for July 12th, 2019. I'm your host, Magebit, with over 18 years of RuneScape experience. Joining me today is Pyrnassius and the RRman. And on today's show, Jagex appoints a new esports lead. The Land Out of Time. TLDW number 422, the month ahead. Saying thanks. Big Game Hunter quick guide. Big Game Hunter feels like a skilling boss. Noob memories. How about that new course? Could this be the best place on Gielinor? Outstanding job. Some Gielinor memories in passing. I was a paranoid narcissistic child. Partnerships in old school. A friendly reminder to vote no. You want my feedback, Jagex? A fairly embarrassing poll. That's not how facts work. Mod Ash's incredulous reply. Former Mod Matt K weighs in on partnerships. An update on partnerships. That was a sassy update. An anti-MTX call to arms. And new firepower added to Jagex's sea level. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of RuneScape Weekly, and enjoy the show. A big special thanks to our top patrons, Ricky A, Cass, and Dialo. Thank you so much for making this episode a reality. We have a huge show today. We are kind of taking the tail end of last week's show, the OSRS partnerships. We'll call it a venture. We'll call it that. We'll call it a creative venture. And then we have our beautiful expansion that we got this week. I can hear your urge to mess up the intro. Thanks, Hampshire. RuneScape has been great if you're playing RuneScape 3. If you're playing old school RuneScape, you have you've just won a battle and you are fighting a war.
4 now.
Yeah, yeah. You've won a battle and you're fighting a war.
After that has happened, if I can, oh, no, actually no, I'll save it till we get to it.
Thank you, Sushi. I appreciate that. And yes, I made it through the intro without messing up. I'm trying my best.
I was listening hard trying to find one too.
Yes.
And you didn't
know. I could feel all of your eyes on me.
Well, I think we should end it right now. It's like a perfect podcast.
I know. I shouldn't just say anything else. I should just
Thanks
go
for joining,
home.
Everyone. We will catch you next week.
Just go home right now. Exactly. We have a few PSAs right before we get in to our topics for the day, which we have a bajillion of. Open Minds, episode 1, our new podcast, is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts. It's pending on iTunes at the moment because iTunes is the glacier of podcast directories. They take their time doing anything. It'll pass. They take forever. But it's available on the website as well, magebit.me. But it's also available on Stitcher, TuneIn as well. It's a podcast about mental health and wellness. The first episode is a little rough, being the first episode and all. I was really, really nervous. I was so nervous, in fact, that I failed to even record it. I had my co-host record it. My co-host, the poor co-host, did an amazing job on short notice. So I was like, he basically filled in as the producer and basically as the executive producer, and the live streamer. Actually, he did my job at the last second because I froze up, and we still managed to do the show very well, and then I put the show together afterwards, and it came out quite well. And it's good. I like it. I'm glad that we are doing it. I'm really happy to be doing another show that is not centered around a fictional universe. I'm glad to be focusing on something else that I am passionate about. So, every pilot episode is rough. The first episode of RuneScape Weekly sounds like, I'm talking through a tin can and there's no real direction and whatnot. So, I'm very excited to evolve the show, and I have confidence in going forward. So I'm very excited to go forward. Anyway, that's pretty much where we are, I believe, right? We can move forward from there, and we can jump into our first topic of the day, right? Let me see. Let me pull up here. We have, yes. So Jagex has appointed a new esports lead, which is something I don't know if they've done before. They've always kind of used internal individuals as their esports people, kind of doubling as JMods. Like they've used a JMod as their esports person. This is the first time they've hired.
Maybe they're trying to get away from that corruption that we've unfortunately seen on the ePod. No, I mean being legitimate here, with what has happened recently, it's probably a good idea to get someone outside of it to do that type of thing.
Get a neutral party, seriously, right? Because you're speaking to real events that have happened where inside corruption has happened, where people have been susceptible to wanting in-game items and
the thing is with that type of thing, I mean, we make jokes about it and such, but it affects RS3 as well, because the games are sort of lumped together, so it puts our own people and mods into that sort of same group of someone who does that type of thing, and we don't want that to happen, obviously, and get RS3 tarnished with that same sort of brush.
Yeah, exactly. And because the economies are unfortunately intrinsically linked by the gold swapping system, which I call it a system. It's not technically a system. It's a player-created system.
Which should be illegal, but
when you see these types of things happen, and the economies are impacted by these major upsets, when an esports tournament goes wrong or something, it can seriously impact the RuneScape 3 game, even though it happens on old school RuneScape. So having an outside hire like this, who may have no incentive to want to affect the influence of specific clan, for instance, that's probably a good thing. Anyway, it says here, UK-based game developer publisher Jagex has appointed Rachel Gaskin as its head of esports. Gaskin's role as head of esports at Jagex will see her leading the esports initiative for both RuneScape and old school RuneScape, both of which boast separate bustling communities. The U.S. native will venture to Jagex's Cambridge office and bring along her expertise from her roles at Red Bull and Blizzard, and times as a professional at Heroes of the Storm player. So that's interesting. So she does have gaming experience, which is great, but it's not RuneScape. So again, no interest in thieving RuneScape items, hopefully. Jagex is most notably known for its free-to-play MMORPG RuneScape, which was released in 2001. In February of 2013, the company decided to launch a classic variant of the game while still supporting its most current developing title, which it dubbed Old School RuneScape. RuneScape has been equipped with competitive elements since its inception. The franchise supports player versus player modes in a number of adaptations. Jagex held tournaments for Old School RuneScape's Deadman mode, a PvP survival variant, which featured cash prizes of up to $32,000. It has been stated that Deadman Summer Finals 2019 would be the final tournament until further notice. As well as this hire, the discontinuation of survival game mode may be hinting towards a reframed approach to RuneScape esports. Esports Insider says RuneScape is one of the most well-known games, and despite approaching 2 decades of age, it continues to boast a respectable player base. Jagex has, for the most part, avoided classifying any of its ventures as esports until now, but off the newest hire and the ceasing of Deadman mode, we suspect that it will take aim at any of RuneScape's competitive efforts from a different angle. So it's possible that we might actually see RuneScape expanding its esports efforts to both games now.
And I mean, I know it had a lot of trouble, but
Halloween. Sorry, go ahead, Pyrn.
No, as I say, that Halloween event that they did where they messed up in RS3. I mean, that had a hell of a lot of potential.
Yeah.
But, they had that one little glitch. Now, I'm hoping that they have been
Little
working on
glitch.
that and developed something like that. And then rather than adding things like this fog and such, just increase the power and the number of your NPCs out there if you want to sort of force people
If
inside.
they had the talent of someone like Rachel Gaskin during that time, maybe that tournament would have gone a little bit better,
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, like a Demangia Wolf Society. I like Heroes of the Storm as well. I have played some Heroes of the Storm. Like, I don't particularly like MOBAs, but as MOBAs go, Heroes of the Storm is a more enjoyable one overall. Like, I've played Smite. I've played a little League of Legends. That is probably the most reprehensible one of all of them if I had to choose. Smite's not as bad, but Heroes of the Storm is probably the most enjoyable of the ones that I have played. It's probably the easiest of the ones to get into. OSR's Dead Moon, which is not a thing anymore for development. Yeah, I'm hoping that they scrap that, mainly because I think that it was becoming a popularity thing. It was just becoming clan man mode, right? Like that wasn't working. And it kind of was susceptible to the same thing that Darkscape was susceptible to, just bullying.
Yes.
Anyway, so this has potential. I would like to see what happens here. I really hope that this isn't just for old school RuneScape. I want to see RuneScape 3 also.
And with someone like this woman coming across with the games that she's done, I'd say she'd be sort of looking at a more modern game for that type of thing, and mechanics and such to sort of promote and get up there. So fingers crossed that, as you said, it should be for both.
Right. I hope it is for both, yeah. Anyway, would you care to read us into the Land Out of Time real quick?
I will, because I love dinosaurs, and this was a magnificent update. I am just going to quickly pot up while I pull this one up, and let's get straight on into it.
All right, I'll be right back.
The Land Out of Time, the journey begins. Today is indeed the day. There is nothing more exciting than getting a brand new area of Gielinor to explore, and today's arrival of the Land Out of Time finally allows us to deliver something we've wanted to introduce for ages. Dinosaurs. Loads and loads of dinosaurs. Unfortunately, these aren't the cuddly, oh, look at that cheeky chap, quick, let me take a selfie type, but are instead the, oh my, look at the size of the thing, wait, is it looking at me and licking its lips type? So take a deep breath and get ready for a perilous journey. Before we start, if you've not yet played Desperate Times, play the Desperate Times quest, then we might suggest that either you do so, or alternatively, catch up with the story. There is much interest in a mysterious island that Dragonkin scientist Kerapak has escaped to, taking with him an elder artifact of tremendous power. If you are to survive your journey here and profit from its many rare treasures, you're going to have to up your game and learn a whole new way of hunting. To get to the Land Out of Time, either board the boat at the dig site or talk to a royal messenger hanging around the lodestones. The Land Out of Time is only accessible for RuneScape members. So do you want to just read through the whole lot, or do you want to stop and have a bit of a chat about each section? Okay, so let's move on to Big Game Hunter. Hunter is evolving. The Land Out of Time brings a new training method for the Hunter skill and spans Hunter levels 75 to 96 and Slayer levels 55 to 76. It all focuses around 9 sizable and quite grumpy dinosaurs who are simply too big and too hungry to confront outright. So, if you want to tame the beasts, you'll need to collect resources and set treacherous traps. Stay out of sight and always think one move ahead. And who knows, perhaps the dinos will eat someone else for dinner. Mm-hmm. The intention of the developers was to look for some of the more varied mechanics you'd normally see in boss fights and introduce them into non-boss encounters. Slaying these devilish dinos will not only reward you with hulking chunks of XP, but also boss drop quality loot. Skinning your catches will allow you to harvest resources used to craft new gear, including a level 75 ranged armor, perfect for training invention, and the Maul, which is a Hex Hunter equivalent for melee. Remember that alongside this new content, we're also revamping the entire hunting skill and making the hunter outfit earnable in-game. And there, you can read more about that and the changes in the patch notes.
Yeah, man.
Onto agility. We want players to have a better reason to level their agility and to have more enjoyable time while doing so. So, for the Land Out of Time, we've introduced an island-spanning agility course. It's an excellent way to get around the island and also offers you some rewards for doing so. The agility course encircles the entire island. Not only is this the quickest way of getting around and seeing the sights, but it's also built for convenience. You can hop on and off at several points, and you can travel in either direction. Completing the entire course will take around 7 minutes, but there are plenty of smaller segments scattered throughout. Taking advantage of the agility course offers new loot, including a new ability codex that can unlock 2 charges for 2 new abilities, Double Surge and Double Escape. To access the first section of the agility course, you'll need agility level 30, but for the full course, you'll need to be at level 85. Onto Slayer. We're very aware that ever since Slayer was up to 120, there has been a need for more high-level monsters to make the most of. So good news, the Land Out of Time will add 8 brand new Slayer creatures spanning levels 90 to 114. Joining the dinosaurs are some interesting new plant-based foes, and being plants, of course, means that skilled farmers out there will have the opportunity to grow their own. That's right, you can grow your own Slayer mobs to fight. There's also a new task type that gives you more freedom than ever before. For example, whereas previously a Slayer Master may have told you need to fight celestial dragons, now your task will simply be to fight dragons. This gives you loads more flexibility to fight whatever dragon you want, and at a location that may suit you better. You may even choose to tackle a dragon boss. Speaking of Slayer Masters, there's a brand new one. Laniakia is dark, twisted, and mysterious, and we've even heard that she regularly drinks poison to build her resistances. While she does little in the way of fighting these days, she continues to crave greater strength. It is the lure of undiscovered power that has drawn her to the island. She'll also have a range of more conventional tasks to offer, similar to Morven's, but with higher level focus. Players will need level 90 Slayer and level 120 combat to access her. Base Camp. After a long day trying not to get eaten, you're understandably going to want to put your feet up. For that reason, it seems like a good idea to establish a base camp. As glamorous as this ancient temple may once have been, however, it's fair to say that it could do with a bit of spit and polish. Players will have the chance to maintain and upgrade it in much the same way as they would a port or farm. Once up and running, there will be the opportunity to construct and upgrade 7 different buildings. Doing so will offer perks that will not only help you out on the island, damage buff anyone, but also help access across the world of Gielinor. While skulking the jungles of the Land Out of Time, you'll likely find mysterious fragments. Don't hurl them into the bushes, however. You keep hold of them and you'll be able to build totems. These new monuments will offer game-wide benefits and effects themed around time saving. For example, one reduces all aura cooldowns by 15%. There are 7 different totems to build, and you can have up to 3 active at any one time. If you want to carry on enjoying the perks, you'll need to maintain your totems, but you'll get a sprinkling of divination XP for your efforts. Herby Werby. On top of everything else, there is a new activity for offering Herblore XP that developers have chosen to call Herby Werby. A homage to underappreciated 2002 ADOS PS2 classic Hurdy-Gurdy. Who's to say? Herby Werby can be completed once a week and offers an assortment of rewards, such as a herb bag, which stores grimy herbs. So many more beautiful things to see. There are plenty of nooks and crannies and secrets to discover across the Land Out of Time, and among them you'll find 2 new overgrown idols for woodcutting, some mining sites, additional traditional hunter spots, and locations.
Little Freudian slip there, Pyrn.
It was then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I just saw the T in the hunter and it just like automatically comes out.
Yeah.
So behind the scenes, they're going to they'll have So eager to find out what gave life to Anachronia, discover what ideas our teams went through before, setting the astonishingly beautiful scenery you'll have to explore. Maybe you want a closer look at the beasts you'll meet on the island and have the ranged outfit you can craft from them. Head to our World Out of Time website, and it features exclusive concept art from the production team. So that is good to go and have a look at there. Again, they're going on about account security. Double XP weekend coming up on the 26th to the 29th of July. The summer special is still on. Get 3 months for the price of 2. That goes until August 4th. And then there's a couple of competitions for player galleries. There's an email one, a forum contest, and such. But that's basically our update this week.
Right.
A massive update.
Right. Have you activated any totems yet?
No, I can do the ports one. I got all the pieces for the ports one, but obviously I've completed ports, so I got the most useless one finished for me.
Yeah, I haven't. I can't wait to get.
I've got to do them a couple of I mean, the other ones I need to get are all fairly easy to get. But yeah, it's just a matter of going out and actually hunting for them now.
I like how you have to go around and do all the different bits of content to get
you have to engage in all different parts to do it, and I think that is a wonderful idea to get people engaging in the new content. As I said, I really do think they hit the nail on the head with everything here. Getting people to engage in all the different content, a bunch of different skills to train, new ways to train. I mean, the hunter training, I think, is phenomenal what they have done there. I really do think they've brought that up to to the 21st century. So we'll go back and we'll talk about, obviously, right from the start, we'll talk about the island itself, getting there and such. First impressions. I'll let you guys go because I've spoken enough.
So, first off, the cutscene was a refreshing thing. I mean, first, they obviously use the same style from the quest. If you've done the quest, then you know what I'm talking about. I really liked that they continued with
graphic novel style for people who haven't done it.
Okay. Yep. Got it. Thank you. Really like that art style. I'm glad they are continuing with that. I hope that they make that the standard going forward with their storytelling, because I think it works really well for this game. And it makes
and one thing with that, if I can just say one thing with that, it makes it a lot easier if they do have to do any adjustments or changes. Obviously, that style is very easy. You've got a person talking. You don't need to sit there worrying about having characters, syncing up lips and things like that. It's someone speaking in the background, a little, digital art piece there. Very simple, but very effective.
The human mind fills in so much. Like, our imaginations are way more powerful than we give them credit for. And, like, that's the thing is, like, that's why graphics are not as important as I have. And that's why people play old school RuneScape, obviously. But, anyway. So,
I'd love to see a cutscene like this at the start of every quest. Going forward now, and when you start a quest,
that's pretty much
a little introduction, and that's if they do that.
That's pretty much where I was going. I really hope that is the storytelling method going forward. I hope they continue with that style. Getting there, getting dumped on the beach, really like that. The whole no handhold, just being left there, appreciated that. Felt really Path of Exile-y, very
I was stuck on the beach for like 10 minutes until Magebit helped me.
yeah, I remember that. Even I was lost for a little while, and then you were even more lost than I was.
I was like, well, I guess my base camp's going to be on the beach. Sorry, guys.
You got stuck at the hot spots. That was fun. The actual exploration portion. The graphical, I don't want to take away too much from other people, but I will let RRman give some of his early talk, so I won't completely steal everyone's thunder. Go ahead.
That's all right. To be honest, I've just been running around the island in circles doing this agility course, and I love it. I want to get 120 agility. This is a great course.
I was gonna say, like, you started really early on and went right for the agility course. and
surprising.
we're running. Right, I know, and you were running like from the beginning. Well, I was just getting lost trying to figure out where the hell I was, and you were just doing the agility course. What drew you to the agility course? What
the money, man? The money. That's for the even though I've taken. I wish I had a lot more time off work this week, but no, I just wanted to see the whole island, and I love how you go around and you can stop at any point, just randomly do something else.
Right.
And it doesn't cut you off from getting the course bonus.
Yeah.
You know, if you and you can go both ways. So if you misclick and go backwards, they don't. You know, that doesn't mess you up as well.
Yeah.
And you can just stop at any time and do anything else. So you're just not constantly doing the same course around and around.
Yeah, okay.
So it's so well done.
Yeah, that is really cool. It is the ultimate nonconformist course. I love it. I haven't gotten to try Big Game Hunter yet, so I can't give my opinion on that. But I've heard even David say that he likes it, and he went from saying that he didn't like it to he likes it. So that's something.
Is that you saying from before it came out, or did he start not liking it after when it came out?
Yeah, no, he didn't like it when it came out, and then he started playing more of it. Yeah,
nice.
So that gives me hope that
it's like Skelling Boss light hair. Like maybe they can.
Yeah,
it's basically a Skelling Boss. Let's be honest.
Right.
Skelling mini bosses, I guess.
Yeah. So my hope is that it's decent, and he said that once he realized you were meant to like track the dinosaurs and bring your draw distance up, that really changed the dynamic for him. But I don't know. I don't know what that means. I haven't actually been in an encounter yet. So I always have my draw distance at maximum, but that's because of my computer. So perhaps he doesn't for system resource reasons. So that wouldn't have been a factor for me. So when I go in there, it's just going to be all, it's all dinos and traps, and we'll see what happens. Probably get stomped on. That's probably what's going to happen. Well, what about you, Pyrnassius?
Yeah, I mean, I was really, really looking forward to this, and especially when they first announced, it's not Fossil Island, it's something different. We're moving away from that, and then I was really, really stung when we went to do that, building the storm, the ship event, and the first thing Mr. Mordau says is, Fossil Island, and I thought, you have just spent all this time telling me on your live streams and everything else this isn't Fossil Island, and then the first thing I speak to someone down there tells me sort of welcome to Fossil Island type thing. I was sort of a bit put out there. So going to the island,
it wasn't a lie though. It's not a lie technically because it's not Fossil Island. It's like it's not a lie. It's like a sneaky thing. It's not Fossil Island because it's reversed in time.
And that's exactly. And that's when we went there and first running around. I mean, went there obviously, ran up to the centre part, saw Mr. Mordau and all that there. When you speak to him, we can't call this Fossil Island because there's too many living things here and such. And I thought, yes. Thank you very much. You've done that nod away. It is a different thing to what is on old school. It is our own update and such, and they've done such a fantastic job. Now, I spent an hour and a half, 2 hours just walking around the island. I didn't engage in really anything. I was just walking around. I'm seeing these little zygomite things little flowers start pulling them up, and there's these little ancient zygomites. Oh, okay. And, just walk around looking for those, pulling those up, seeing rubble and investigating that and finding totems and things. As you guys have both said, that no hand-holding, that pure discovery thing, that's what I fell in love with RuneScape back in 2011 when I started. There was wiki and all that out, but when I was starting brand new, I didn't know anything about that. So I had to work it out, discover it, talk to people, walk to different cities. All of a sudden, get killed by a bandit in between different cities and things, and work all that out myself. One thing I would have liked to have seen is having the dinosaurs be aggressive. When you walk around, all of a sudden, bang, you walk into a dinosaur camp, you get attacked.
Especially if you would have liked, at the very least, if you dare to run under them, like the stun. It would have
The
been.
stun works with the hunter ones. If you go under the hunter ones, they stun you, but the Slayer ones don't.
Right.
So yeah, but other than that, I mean, that's neither here nor there. That's just something. That's a little personal thing I would have liked.
I'd like to see the stuns do damage. That's all.
Yeah. What I did love though is just the different areas of the island itself. I mean, if you take the area between the top of a rock down, across to Lumbridge, down across to Falador, that big square area is basically what the size of this island is.
I got a van.
And then there's one teleport there. There's one teleport there. That is the lodestone that you build, which they fit in nicely again with the lore. I mean, one thing I was really disappointed, why have we got a lodestone here? But it's built into the lore. We've been asked to create this one, which I thought was really well done as well. It's not just one there that we activate. So I think overall, just everything that they did, they thought about well. Nothing was just tacked on, we need to do this and throw this in here. Everything was thought out properly. Everything was done well. The Slayer, I mean, again, I haven't tried the big game hunter. I'm going to get all my hunter marks up and get all the unlocks done before I go and do that to make it a little bit easier for myself.
Yeah,
but just the different ways of doing it, such that agility course as you spoke about. I mean, agility, you can make money from agility. If you told me that 6 months ago, I would have said, yeah, right, how are you ever going to do that? There's no possible way. They found a way to do it, and with something that is agility appropriate in the Surging Codex. I mean, they are an agility type ability, so it fits in well with what you get unlocked there. So there is not one thing that I can find wrong here. The Slayer creatures, I was a little worried that because everyone knows I like achievements, I like collecting things. So the souls, I thought they might just say, collect a dinosaur soul, collect a plant soul. No, you do have to actually go and get each individual one. So, they did it right there as well. The sort of maintenance, management type thing of, it's similar to ports and managing miscellaneous sort of mixed together, where you're gathering resources, building it up, doing all that type of thing. I don't think they have struck one. There's nothing bad about the whole place for me.
Yeah, I haven't found anything that I dislike, certainly. But I also have only spent 3 hours on the island so far because I am currently cursed to World 84 Combat Academy for another 10 hours.
Well, that's the thing. I haven't even checked my farm, basically. I've checked my farm once since this update's been out.
Right. No, I haven't.
I'm doing a Slayer task because I spent 1,600 Slayer points to try and get my first dinosaur task. That was the one thing. I thought generally when they release these new creatures, they would make you go to that new Slayer master. She'd sort of make that task a bit of a priority. But whether I was just unlucky or not, but I spent over 1,600 Slayer points to get my first dinosaur task, and then promptly favoured it. So the next one took 5, but yeah. But yeah, it's just everything that it does.
Does she have her own favourite system?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so you can favour the dinosaurs and such. She does a sort of a cut down version of all Morven's creatures, so all his favourite creatures. And she also does things like she'll just say demons. So you can kill Calgarians, you can kill Black, you can kill Lesser. You choose which demons you want to kill. And I really love that aspect of it as well.
Yeah, that's what I was looking forward to.
I don't always want to kill Rune Dragons. I might just want to knock out a task quickly.
Right.
And I can just go something basic.
Exactly.
I don't always want to kill Calgarians.
Sometimes I just want to go.
Well, actually, yes, I do at the moment.
Yeah.
But it gives you that choice, and that's what Slayer should be about, is all that choice. And it's I'd like to see them expand that to the other. If they do a little bit of a tweak on the other Slayer masters, where they allow all of them to do that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Finally
boy.
have Magebit stop complaining about being told what to kill.
I know. The
Yeah.
Slayer Masters.
Yeah, if you're just told to go kill demons,
Right.
great. I can choose which demons I
This
want to kill.
Slayer Master
I can
was
go and
made for
kill
me.
Krill Satsurith if I want to.
Right.
You know.
Yes, this is good enough. This Slayer Master will get me to 120. I mean, I'm basically already there, but this will make Slayer like enjoyable for me. Like if I wanted to do Slayer, I would happily choose this Slayer
Moving on
Master.
to those totems.
Yes.
You know, there again. I'm sorry. I'm just going to pull it up on there because I want to let everyone what the different totems do and their agility. So just give me a sec because, I mean, these are some fantastic little rewards that you get, and
there's at least like you can't have them all active at once, right?
3 of the 7 at once, yes, and you need to charge them daily. So, which is great. You've got to keep going back there if you want to keep doing it. You've got to keep going back there.
Fantastic. Good. It's a daily. I love that so much. Go ahead.
What is the charge involved? Like, how long does that take, and what do you do?
The charging is just basically going and basically praying at it. It gives you some divination XP, and that's all you have to do. You just got to go and activate it, basically.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you're just clicking on it. It's a 30-second run, but you've got to go and do it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah. First up, we have the Totem of Treasure. Now, that's going to skip a step in a clue scroll. So you're going to get one less step if you're doing clue scrolls. So that's going to be great if you're doing elite clues. You know, instead of having 7 or 8, you know, you're going to do 6 steps. The Totem of Navigation, which is the one I've actually got, that reduces the duration of port's voyage by 15%. Now, again, if for people, especially you know, everyone going for trimmed and all that type of stuff, if you haven't got that unlocked yet, that's part of your trimmed completionist. That's a great one for you. That's going to help you, you know, get those resources and such done faster there. So, you know, a great one there for you guys.
Right.
For our thieves, the Totem of Crystal reduces the Elven clan lockout period while pickpocketing by 25%. So instead of every 20 minutes, if you have this activated, it's every 15 minutes. Now, what that means is if you have your 4 favorite clans, basically you can just skip between those 4. You don't have to add that extra clan in there because, you know, you've still got that cooling down period on the other one. So they've got that one there. The Totem of Abyss allows teleportation to itself when placed. So you can put this one. There's several totem spots around. So if you've got one near one of your favorite Slayer creatures, you know, like me, if I'm doing hunting for the souls, I can put one there, go load up, teleport straight to that one, and I'm, you know, a couple of steps away from the creature I'm hunting. So that is a fantastic one.
Okay.
This next one, I think, is going to be a popular one with a lot of people, and that's the Totem of Intimidation.
Yeah.
It allows skipping the kill count required while accessing or while going into God War's dungeon. So rather than having to get your 40 kill count, you know, you just go straight in if you have this one active. Right. Again, fantastic for people who are pet hunting or doing the boss drop log. You know, no kill count, just bang straight in and fight your god boss. Again, great for Reaper as well. I'll quite often listen. I can't really be bothered going and killing 40 of those to then go in and kill 17 General Zillianas. I'll skip it and get something else. No, I can just go straight in there and do it. So for Reaper, that helps out as well.
Yeah,
one I think will be popular among the PVMers will be the Totem of Summoning. Increases the duration of all summoned familiars by 10%. So your Nihils, which I think last 70 minutes, now are going to last 77 minutes. Doesn't sound like a whole lot, but that extra 7 minutes, extends your time and your fighting time. And if you're bringing a couple down, that gives you that little bit of extra. Yeah, I would probably say that. Yeah, that might be increased to maybe 15 or 20% in the future, but we'll see what happens because it is a very good one there. And finally, the biggest one of all, I think that the PVMers are going to love is the one they mentioned is the Totem of Auras. Reduces the cooldown of all auras by 15%. So rather than sort of a 60 minutes, waiting 60 minutes or 4 hours on some of them, you're going to get down to waiting sort of 3 hours and 20 minutes. So, just saving that extra time to then get your auras in your rotation. I think that is going to be a huge one as well,
And that's
but they're great.
Difficult.
You have to go and yes. For the auras one, the top is found by pulling all of the ancient zygomites, all 60 of them. The middle is obtained randomly while killing Slayer monsters on the island, and the base is randomly obtained while running the Anachronia agility course. Now, I've got all 60 of the ancient zygomites, and I've got the base. So while I'm doing my Slayer monsters, hopefully I will pick
lucky bastard.
Pick up that one, and I'll get the aura one. Pretty much should be my next one again, because I am doing a lot of the Slayer monsters because I'm chasing the souls. What that also is, it can be done off task. You don't have to be on task to get that as a drop. So you can just go there and camp those creatures if you want. Mm-hmm. So that is all up on the wiki. So if you do want to see what you need to do, and you need to do things like you need to do the agility, you need to do big game hunter, you need to pull up all those ancient zygomites. You need to cut down the overgrown idol. You've got to play Herbie Werby to get the spirit points to buy a couple of those. There's something you have to engage in everything. One of them comes from the helping Laniaka mini quest. There's something in every aspect of Anachronia's system to do to unlock these, and again, that is fantastic design because it's getting people engaging in things and trying it out. And I don't like that. I don't want to sit there and do Big Hunter Slayer. You're forced to go there to get this. Wow, I really enjoy this. I'm going to sit here and do a whole lot more of this because I've actually enjoyed doing this type of thing, and that's what it's all about: getting people to interact with the content and making their own minds up before they sit there and get told what they have to like and not like by by certain members of the community.
Speaking of community, we have a big TLDW coming up here about to land out of time.
Yeah. If I just touch on quickly the Herbie Werby mini game.
Yeah, you want to go?
Free Herblore XP once a week for you. It's just a little mini game for free Herblore XP.
Yep, it is.
And
it's
free 28 to 30k I think you get. So
yeah, it's pretty easy to do too.
And let's not forget our base camp Age of Empires mini game. That was a nice surprise. I love it.
Yeah, it's cute. I like that. That's fun. I've been enjoying it.
Which one was that one?
The little management minigame, the base camp minigame.
Yes, yeah, all that management, unlocking everything, building your town hall, your storehouse, sleeping quarters. We will go through those. You can build a spa, which will Tier 1 will increase agility XP by 5%, Tier 2 by 7%, Tier 3 by 10%. And also makes the effects last 50% longer on Tier 3. The Hunter Lodge has a 10% chance of gathering an additional resource from woodcutting and big game hunter encounters. Tier 2, big game creatures now take an extra 2.4 seconds to catch you. So 4 game ticks, basically, you get extra if you build a Tier 2. And a Tier 3, one type of frog is removed at the start of each big game encounter. So you've got a 50-50 chance instead of a 33% chance of getting the right frog for poison. The Slayer Lodge. Now, this is going to be the big one. Tier 1 gives you a 1% damage boost on the island. Tier 2 gives you a 3% damage boost on the island. Tier 3, this is the big one, gives you a 6% damage boost on the island. Plus, it has a Slayer helmet stand. It will grant you the bonus of the Slayer helmet across Gielinor without needing to wear it. That is it's going to take time to get that built up because you have to build all the other ones up and get all these to Tier 3. So it's not something you're going to knock out in 2 weeks' time. but it's a great reward for people who are going to dedicate themselves and do it and interact with everything, because that is a fantastic reward. You can then go and do your Slayer creatures and wear your full masterwork and get the full bonus from your masterwork, rather than just, oh, do I take my Slayer helm for the added, added accuracy, or do I wear this to get my, full 10% damage reduction? That'll give you, that takes that out. So a great one there.
Indeed.
The Player Lodge. This is another good one. Tier 1 gives you the increased chance of finding building resources on the island. Tier 2, the lodge will restore your health, prayer, and summoning points. You'll also be able to modify house teletabs to teleport to the Player Lodge. And Tier 3, again, another fantastic one. Skill Cape Stand. Grants a passive Skill Cape perk effect without needing to wear it. So you can load up at the moment, agility is a big one, because it helps if you wear your agility cape. You only stumble on the course, you don't fall, and it doesn't slow you down. So you have that on anywhere you go. You can just get that. If you're a big farmer and you want to wear one of your other capes, rather than having to pull out that farming cape all the time, load it up there, and you'll always have that farming perk done.
Does that work across Gielinor or the island?
Across Gielinor.
Okay, so that is
yes.
that's powerful.
Yeah.
So if you're a noob,
and then obviously there's the bank chest and lodestone that you unlock there as well. So
nice.
So
you could put the defense cape perk there in case you die.
Yep, exactly right. You can chuck your defense perk cape there, and you don't have to wear your max cape. You can put something else. So effectively, you can have 4 perks running at once on your max.
So you could have 4 perks active at once. Is that what I'm hearing? You could have 3 on your max and then an extra one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And we won't talk about the Complainer's cape, because that's gone into that's now stuck in my player-owned house in my cape rack and never to be worn again.
Yes. that's you can cut up and use it for toilet paper. Don't worry.
Yep. Basically. And also the sleeping quarters. Just you start off with 10 workers. Tier 1 gives you 15 workers. Tier 2 gives you 30 workers. Tier 3 gives you 60 workers.
Wow, that escalated quickly.
Yeah. So 15 to 30, 60. So I've already got the Tier 1 unlocked, obviously, and trying to get that done. But
I'm working towards my. I'm working on trying to. I'm not good at allocating resources, but we're getting there. Company Magebit is currently on like tier 2.5. We're getting there. We'll soon be working on a tier 2. I think we can go check it out after we finish up this letter.
And basically, just load them up evenly across the 3 resources of the one you want to build. Get that done out of the way, and then go to one of the others. I started off sort of trying to spread them across.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
And then I thought, no,
you gotta be careful, because if you have uneven amounts of resources and you spread your workers evenly, you're gonna end up with too much of one and none. That's what I did.
But still, you're still gonna need those down the track in other things anyway.
But then you'll be waiting for one resource to fill up while all the other ones will be done, and that's what happened to me.
Yeah. Well, the thing with like when you're you get compacted resources, which give you a bonus 100 in different.
That's
ones.
another thing. So, because I'm not here running the island, I'm not getting much. All right. So what am I doing right now? I think I'm trying to just build the next tier of storehouse, probably, because I have tier 1 sleeping quarters and tier 1 storehouse. What would you recommend?
Town hall, maybe.
I would, your town hall. I'm working on tier 2 town hall at the moment.
2? Okay. So that's
I've got the storehouse and I've got the storehouse and the sleeping quarters. I'm basically I want to get those up to I want to get sleeping quarters to tier 3, so I get the 60 workers. I will probably also do the player lodge because I think that's skill cape stand. The Slayer Lodge I'd love to get as well for the Slayer Helm, but I mean I don't mind if that takes a little bit longer. But that Player Lodge is, I think, a very good one as well with what it offers.
All right, I'll put some people on wood then. Take them off hides. And I think that should be good for now. We don't need leaves either then to build this. We'll just put people on vines. There we go. I don't know how. All right, there we go. Good. Stones, vines.
Gives me renewed hope for the another miscellaneous quest.
And remember also, you want to get your storehouse up because the maximum resources in Tier 1 is only 25,000, and that's not of each. That's across the board.
And it's nice that they tell you they tell you what you need, so they tell you need a storehouse. So no one's going to be sitting there going, why can't I unlock this?
It'll go red if you can't unlock it, right? And it will tell you.
It'll tell you also requires Town Hall Tier 2.
Do you think Wilbur the Raptor in Taverley is from Anaconda? The pig? Oh, the raptor. I don't know. Maybe. Because he's a dinosaur? All raptors are descendants of dinosaurs.
Actually, no, I lie. You can have 25,000 of each. I lied there. Sorry.
How dare you? You want to go on to the TLDW, which contains a bunch of land at a time information? You want me to read some for you?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. I've been talking a lot in my throat.
I know. Let me give you a break. Land out of time from the month ahead, July. Started the project in November of 2018. Fun fact. That's quite a while ago. We designed range boots, but we couldn't find a suitable effect. It's now a reward space we can use in the future. We're going to look after this space. Lots of potential for more added content. We're going to be spending the next few weeks bug fixing and cleaning up bits and features for people that people really want. After that, we might work on something else. We might come back to the island, or other teams would be working on the island with their content as well. That's interesting. There might be other teams coming to maybe bring some other things to Anachronia. That's interesting. We're quite restricted in what we can do with the world map. We are going to make the cliff edges darker on the map. We want to get rid of some of the blurring, but it's difficult. There are tech constraints that stop us from doing the full NXT map render. Java.
No. Yes, exactly.
No Anachronia.
It's time to shut down Java. It really is. If you see what they have done here, and this is limited by what they can do because of Java. There's less than 5% of your player base on Java. Tell them to upgrade. I mean, if they've got a computer that can only run Java, then sorry, you're running a potato. Come into the 21st century. Get rid of that 1999 computer and start playing properly.
All right. No Anachronia journal. At least on now, and we won't be putting the base camp interface in a journal. We spoke about adding the 60 ancient Zygomites to the achievement system, but it's not possible because 30 is the maximum an achievement can list. Breeding log equivalent book for it is just a hacky way of doing the same thing, but there's a lot of them. We'll look into what we can do if we can do anything about it. We understand the frustration of having a 59 of 60 and needing to check them all.
And that was where I ran into the problem. I had 59 out of 60 and I couldn't work out which one I had missed, and I ended up running around to, I think, about 55 of them before I found the one I'd missed.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that must be frustrating. I'm probably going to run into that problem as well. We will be adding teleports and content over time. Can we get Gembag to use the herb bag interface? I believe it was made using the interface for a specific reason, so probably not. Noted herbs are already noted. The herb bag was intended for unnoted herbs. No double...
I want to. This is one thing I want them to sort of address here, and I've said for a long time that Slayer creatures shouldn't be dropping noted herbs as they are. This herb bag is something that I called for 6 months, 12 months ago, where we have the Slayer creatures going back to dropping unnoted herbs, and we have a bag that we can load them into. And this is perfect for that. This herb bag pretty much is useless to anyone who fights any creature from level 40 upwards now. I think possibly I think some of your goblins and things drop unnoted herbs, but aberrant specters, all the creatures you go to get herbs from, drop them noted now. So
Right.
this is something, and hopefully that's something they are looking at, is converting Slayer drops back to unnoted herbs, and you need this herb bag to collect them all. So fingers crossed that they do something like that.
Hopefully. There are no double XP weekend restrictions, like no extra ones, I suppose. There's no secret hidden totem. The 8th one got cut before launch. Big Game Hunter. Some people are getting sub 4-minute kills. It is possible to consistently get 3-minute kills. Understandably, people are getting caught quite quickly early on because they're still new to the content, but then getting locked out for an hour. We're changing it so that if you get caught, you don't make progress towards that hour cooldown, so you can keep getting caught over and over. Oh, I didn't know there was like a lockdown. That's interesting. Trapper fragments have been added to Big Game Hunter. We want to hotfix that in some time this week rather than wait until Monday.
That came out today, just to let people know.
Good,
this morning they did that.
I wonder if they've done anything with Big Game Hunter as far as the lockdown period. No plans.
Nothing that I've seen come up, but yeah.
No plans, at least immediately, to make multiplayer Big Game Hunter. We'll add the names and levels of each dino on the world map. Plans in the future for extra uses for Tier 3 meats. Currently, it's only food and does nothing else. Being able to force 2 or 3 spawns has heavily debated by the team. Currently, it's RNG. It's mostly a balancing issue because of the additional XP loot and better weapon piece chances for having multiple spawns, which are balanced around the current rate of multiple spawns. First dino killed has an XP loot and multiplier of 1 times. Second is 2 times. Third is 3 times. So a 3 times instance is worth the equivalent of 6 single instances. Hunter marks don't multiply at the moment, but there's no reason why that can't be changed.
Now, with that, sorry, just to go back to that part, what you would do there, don't increase the hunter marks on it, but have something where it's a fair cost. Say 30 hunter marks, but you can buy like a little medallion that charges up 5 times, where you can sort of do 5 runs and have that added chance of 2 or 3 spawns. Forcing the 2 and possibly getting a 3 spawn that way.
Indeed. Let me see here. I lost my place.
Sorry, Crystal Hatchet. I was here.
Okay,
Crystal Hatchet and
decent wood cutting level is enough to have 100% success rates on logs and vines. No need for the outfit. There is feedback jobs to move to starting positions of the player to not directly be inside a dino circle. As far as we know it only happens in 3 spawn instances. Urns not working is intended. Generally, things that give big XP drops in one go don't use urns. We are aware that player-owned farms use urns. Yeah, because fuck farming skill. Sorry. Well, I got a little out of hand there. Can the splats be displayed in the chat box? Yes. Toggle the poison has been added, but won't go live until Monday at the minimum. Agility course. We'll try to look into the animation canceling. It mainly happens when you're going out of combat. Surging or bladed dive, which are quite integral to the course, so it's going to happen a lot. Luck rings work for pages. Too many different places to put Talent Scout because you can start and end the course from anywhere. Can you imagine the Talent Scout just everywhere? That would be so annoying.
I don't think they should have a talent scout.
No,
here.
me either. because there's not supposed to be any people there. Anyway.
Exactly.
Let's see here. There might be some gray areas as to which way to go in the swamp area. Perhaps we can look into making it clearer. You can customize the anti-spam delay for search and escape.
Sorry, can I just interrupt for one sec?
Uh-huh.
Everyone congratulate Mage. He's just at 100 million crafting XP.
Oh, sweet. Oh, goodness. Thank you very much. No. I have 4 million XP to go. That's gonna... Only 19 million years left. Can the agility course get a reset option? Yes. The number of laps tracked is over 60 days of game time. What does that mean?
60 days of game time, so 60 times 24. That'll be the number of laps tracked.
Oh, and then they just resets? Is that what?
The number of laps tracked is over 60 days of game. So it's 60 days. So when you hit with 61, it'll wipe out your
That's what I'm asking.
day.
Yeah, that's
so
what I said.
60
so,
days, yes.
Yeah, it's a rolling thing. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Profound Halo will be released in the near future. In-game model. This is a picture.
Because we all love the Profound Halo.
My goodness, it's just like exploding out of their head. They really needed that, didn't they? They needed to just have a mountain exploding out of their head. Look at me. I did count. Hang on, let me get this on screen here. I just feel like if I could draw, and if I had a tablet, and I'm gonna learn to draw. If somebody could just enable my addiction to be a horrible person and buy me it, why can't this just be on screen? Just be on screen. Hang on. Anyway, I don't know why this is giving me a blank area. Oh, that's why. Anyway, so yes, they just have to have this exploding mountain coming out of there. I didn't remember there being an exploding mountain coming out of their head. I thought it was just like a nice white ring. But anyway, still cool. Still nice. Anyway, thank you, Death Star. Appreciate that. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. But I think the fire goes a little higher than I would have had. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure with the success chance on tree. Anyway, moving along. What do we got next? That was our TLDW, I think, pretty much. We ended on that beautiful halo. Saying thanks to all the people in the game.
And I was talking to you, wondering why you're talking over the top of me, and forgot I'd muted because I was.
Yeah, I figured because it was weirdly silent. I'm like,
I'm talking to you, and then you talk over the top again. Jeez, you're a rude bastard. And I looked down, I forgot to unclick mute.
Yeah, I figured there were some technical issues on your end, so I was just trying to deal with the weird silence until you figured it out. So hey, what's up? What do you got? What's going on?
Okay, so next up we have saying thanks to all the people in this game.
Cool. Yeah, you want to grab this one?
Yep. Seriously, it is almost overwhelming how many nice people are in this game. Obviously, he's talking RS3. It's been almost 4 weeks since I started playing, and I got swooped up by a plus 80 combat level clan that's always there when I need to help. People are always around to help spread knowledge and guide me. But coming from WoW, this game has a bunch of really nice people. I feel like WoW is always in competition between what mounts, pets, PvP, PvE gear, and who your guild is. Thanks to the unnamed person who gave me 2 million to fund me my gear and mats necessary for starting. I've since made 1 million plus gold in from it. Now I'm at skill level 800 with almost 3.5 in the bank. A guy quitting gave away loot and scored 250k from him in the GE, no strings attached. Protox Gaming for making handy guides on YouTube that are always up to date and clear to understand. I love playing his videos when I'm running from a skilling location to the bank. A guy who randomly traded me and upgraded my default axe to a rune axe. Words were exchanged and we both had a good day. Players around the GE who always assist me when it comes to upgrading gear. Other players who have been in various minigame locations, stormbreaking event, and random in caves and such. If you're an experienced player, it means a lot to new players to hold their hand for a bit and have someone to mentor. It makes us feel like we can take on all of RuneScape one skill level at a time. So just a little thank you. It's good to see posts like that where people come into the game and always try and be nice to them.
It proves that RuneScape 3's young side is still fresh. The fresh game, still real, still real, still
and,
fresh.
RRman owes you and I $8 million GP each.
Yes,
8 million. You reckon? Jeez.
Well, tell me, you got to give us 10% each of your sales.
Yeah.
That's good. 81 mil is good because he's only got 65.
Yeah, I think you bought the wrong one.
Did you put it on the GE?
Yeah.
Yep, that's good. Well done.
I'm happy with that. Yeah, by a couple of points.
Very nice, very nice. You running a contest next? You in the next contest?
Yeah, I suppose I am now.
Next up here, we got a big game hunter guide. It requires 6 pieces of bait, which are raw shark, manta ray, or sailfish for the lowest tier dinos. Optional is bladed dive, mobile perk, and a good hatchet. Now, your first kill, you're going to need to gather 9 logs, fletch 5 spears, and get 1 poison spear from each color frog. You should have left 2 unpoisoned spears. Now, you're going to need to gather 3 vines. Now, build ballistas and on the center platform, I guess. Build ballistas and center platform.
They're actually called scorpions in game. They're like big crossbows.
Okay. And then you load the ballistas and you lure the center platform. Now, it says this is important. Watch for the color of the hit splat that does 30,000 damage. Poison your 2 spears based on the color that did 30,000 damage and rebuild that center platform. And reload the remaining 2 ballistas. Once got destroyed, don't rebuild it. And you have to lure the center platform once again. You'll be asked if you're sure. As you beware, it can cost you your life. The rest of the kills within the session, you'll need to gather 7 logs, fletch 3 more spears, poison those spears with the color from the first kill, so keep that same color in mind. Gather 3 more vines, build those ballistas up again, and the center platform. Load the ballistas and lure back to the center platform. You'll get locked out if if you face a dino and you fail. It's a 60-minute lockout. The next time it's depleted, it will have a different poison weakness. So it rotates basically. So you can't remember the weakness of the dino. Dinos.
Just to let people. Sorry, just to let people know as well, with your hunter marks, you can buy. It's a consumable from the hunter guy in the base camp, which will spawn only 2 color frogs, so you'll have a 50-50 chance of getting the right one.
Interesting. So there's RNG in this. They can just totally F you anyway.
Yeah, well, basically what it is, you got 3 color frogs, the red, blue, and yellow. So, red, blue, and yellow, I think they were. So one of those colors is the one that's going to deal the most poison, and that's the one you want to hit it with the second time. Right. So and I've heard someone say, basically the best way to do it is load 2 spears with one color, 1 spear with the other color, because you do have a good chance of getting 2 complete hits, and then if neither does that full 30k damage, the next one you only have to load up that color. Right.
So you can one cycle it. Is that what you're saying? But you don't have to one cycle it.
No, but if you use that, I wonder. It would also be interesting if that works when you get your lodge to tier 3, because that'll take you down from 3 frogs to 2 frogs, and then if you use this perk, you can buy 1 frog you'll have the right frog each time. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. But there is a little consumable you can buy. I think it's 30 marks for 10 charges. So yeah,
this is fascinating.
Just cut on there for a second.
Yeah.
Message from David here. He says that tell everybody that big game hunter is fun. He thinks the dinos should have a bigger penalty, but it's still fun.
Cool. As he says that, I think Jagex is literally looking to make the penalty lighter, which I think sucks. Because I think I literally just read that a minute ago, didn't I? In the TLDW, where they said that they were gonna look at making the 1 hour lockout less.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, basically, if you get caught and you have made no progress, so if you get caught in the first cycle, I think they're just going to say, well, okay, that's fine, you can restart.
Okay. Oh, okay. So if you get caught in the first cycle...
Because you made no progress,
right. Yeah. But if you make progress, well, there's still a 1 hour lockout eventually.
Then there's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's different then. Okay, never mind. Okay, all right. I misunderstood then. That's two different things. All right, well, we can continue along here. We want to... grab the next one. I will load it up here. Big Game Hunter actually feels like a skilling boss. As David just said, it's a small one, so I'll read it if you can grab the next one, Pyrn. It says, and I love it. There are probably going to be people that complain, but there's no risk. But it really does feel like how a skilling boss should be. Rewards you for skill and attention and punishes you for messing up and keeps you focused and on the edge. My biggest suggestion and wish would be that there was something to mix it up a bit. The higher tiers do throw multiple monsters at you at once every so often, but it's still mostly just the same fight. Now, that's fair, and maybe we'll see some complexity later down the road. But I agree that the idea of a skilling boss fight and being locked out of it is a good punishment, because you're now basically not able to get access to those exclusive drops that everyone else, is rolling for. So that time equals money thing is no longer on the table for you, at least for that account, which is for a period of time. Good.
What annoys me, this has been out for 4 days. The first and 3 days ago, so basically the day after this was released, the first comment, they need a severe buff in terms of GP and XP.
Right.
We don't know that yet, because no one's had a chance to work out the meta on it and see what is the best way and such like that. Yeah, okay, we're gonna double your XP because people are only getting 100k an hour, so we'll do it to 200k. But in 2 weeks' time, people know how to do it, and all of a sudden we're up to that 1.2 XP an hour again, and things we don't want to see that. Give people time to work these things out before you start calling for XP and GP buffs, please.
I know. You gotta give people a chance to figure out optimal routes.
Listen, I've just come out of school and I'm starting a new job. I want to buy this house, and you're only paying me $50,000 a year. Can you up my wage to $250 now, please, so that I can put me on the same salary as the CEO, so that I can get my house and everything straight away, please?
How about some noob memories, Pyrn?
Noob memories. I've got 3. I started playing when I was 13 or 14. One, when I finished Tutorial Island, I must have accidentally clicked attack on a level 2 man walking around Lumbridge because I spent a minute running away and telling him to stop and asking for help. I thought it was another player. My friend told me that you became a player moderator if they noticed you being nice to Bob the cat. So I did that. I used to follow him around if I saw him, be nice to him and telling him how much I enjoyed RuneScape.
Oh my goodness.
And number 3, I used to help this guy do rune crafting runs. I'd follow him and trade him essence, and after 30 minutes, he'd give me a gold bar. I thought naturally this must have been one of the most valuable things in game and would definitely be worth 30 minutes of my time. That's funny.
I spent countless hours of my time as a kid just not leveling up. Not playing the game efficiently.
But But that's the whole thing. Who cares about efficiency? It's a game. Play it for fun. If you're enjoying yourself, that's all that has to be done.
Right. Okay, totally. There was no meta when I was a kid because well, there was, but I wasn't playing it definitely. And I was wondering how all these people were, gods. I was like, just thought it was impossible. I just thought that, it was an unattainable thing in my mind.
Well, that reminds me of the one time, it was probably like a week after I was playing, and a guy just came up to me, gave me 1,000 coins. I'm like, how would you make this much money?
Right?
It's unreal.
I thought it was fun to just like hang around in the pubs, at Varric and Falador and just talk to people. Like that was RuneScape for me.
Real role-playing stuff, eh?
Yeah, seriously. I would just hang out and actually play the game that way, yes. As a kid. For a long time. And I do a lot of combat and stuff too, and I would really just wait for quests to come out. Like I played the game as a child for quests for a little while. And then the game became about combat for me. Probably about a year and a half in when I really got into the meta of the game, and I really discovered like what RuneScape was about. And then I got really into killing monsters and other people. Anyway, so that's my noob experience, and of course I've told the whole Moss Giant experience a million times in the sewers.
Yes. So
I'm not gonna bother with that one anyway. I'll just unless RRman's got a story he wants to tell, I'll keep going.
No, off the top of my head.
Do you guys like what they did with the new agility course? This Reddit user, I'm not even going to bother trying to say that name. It's just a bunch of consonants. It says, do you think it's good to make agility fun and rewarding, or can Jagex do more? Jagex has always asked players what to do with agility as a skill to make it more interesting. Personally, I love it. Being able to travel around the map and seeing everything, getting used to where things are is such an exciting part of RuneScape for me. And really, it is the core of what RuneScape was meant to be. A game about exploration and new areas and story. There used to be so many new lands released back in the day, and I'm glad they made a huge patch of land after so long. I also think it's really satisfying training agility and getting your own expensive codex for Surge and Escape. It makes people not require mobile and bladed dive at some places such as Cache to do them well, making the game more easy and going, which is good. The 750 pages to make a tradable codex was a good idea too. It gives more of a do-it-yourself mentality, which I love. I just like this update, which seems to have taken a lot of inspiration from old school's Rooftops, which I enjoyed a lot as well. It was great feeling. It was great feeling being a relatively new player when I played, making a good chunk of my bank by training agility, while also helping me having while also helping me have more run energy and access to shortcuts. I really hope to see more of this in the future. Hands down, the best part of this content was exploring. I spent a good 2 to 3 hours looking around, enjoying the scenery before doing anything else. Those devil snares really creep me out along with the creepy music. Yeah, me too. Those plants looked like they'd kill you instantly if you killed them. Just love the unique mobs as well. So good job, Jagex. This update was really good. I also enjoyed the other content as well.
So good. That's the biggest surprise of the whole thing. It's they tell you to put your music on at the start. Yeah. I haven't turned it off yet. I've actually got the RuneScape music playing for the first time in 10 years.
Yeah, the music on that island is amazing. Once I'm on there full time, I will up and leave it back on too. It's great.
I would love them to release all these on a new orchestral CD like they did with recently, just to the Anachronia collection, because the music in this place is some of the best I've heard in the game.
Yeah. Lurker Noob says, one time I found a group of kids who played Family in Verric Castle. It was kind of cute. That is pretty cute.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think this agility course was a fantastic idea. I hope to see more of it. More things like it in the future.
I mean, I saw complaints, it takes too long, 8 minutes to do an agility course is too long, but that's the whole idea. If you don't like that type of thing, go and do Heffen. But for those who just enjoy that, something different, and it's all about choice in the game now, and it just gives you that choice, and running around, looking at different things, interacting with the game, and the chance of those pages, just that's what makes it, all so much better.
Mm-hmm. Once it gets fleshed out, Anachronia might be my favorite place in RS, says UE2. I was not expecting it to be as big as it was. The fact it's on par with the wilderness in scope is nuts. I really appreciate how mazy the whole place is. Really does an amazing job at capturing the feel of an island that clearly had civilization at one point, but hasn't in a long time, with a mix of how easy and hard navigation spots. But what really takes the cake is amazing atmosphere and visuals of the island. It feels exactly like I imagined a creepy, mysterious, haunting, beautiful, prehistoric island should feel like. I've just been walking around for hours checking out the scenery, the creatures, etc. It's so gorgeous. I haven't felt anything with this much atmosphere in it in RuneScape since Mauritania, which is basically my favorite horror location in a video game, period. But what I'm really excited is for how this place will evolve. You can just tell, even without the NPCs already telling you, that this place must have been some deep and really cool underground ruin. See, what did I say? I was like, all this place needs is a giant underground cave ruin.
And that's something they can add, because we discover through a quest,
right? Yeah.
Well, that's where that Dragon King guy's hiding out.
Giant underground flooded cavern system, Jagex. Giant underground flooded caverns that they unflood and reflood, right, through just tide systems, and it'd be so cool. Anyway, where was I got too excited. You can tell.
But what I'm really excited about is how this place will evolve.
You can tell
cities given here.
You can just tell without even the NPCs already telling you that this place will have some deep and really cool underground ruins, maybe even a new hidden lost city, giving what some of the ruins say. The species, as well as I'm looking forward to hopefully learning more about our little plant friends and the dinos that walk amongst this island. You can just feel how ripe this place is for building lore. And I feel that if it's not related to the upcoming quest, there is a strong possibility that something on the island hints to there being a new boss of some kind. I hope this island gets to live up to its potential. I really do. It's been such a long time since RuneScape has had such a world added to it that is really a breath of fresh air. I agree. I mean, the sentiment of this post is spot on. Spot on indeed. They hit the nail on the head there. And I really hope that this island goes underground. Hopefully with a quest. Anyway.
And you know what I love? I mean, I haven't really seen any really critical complaints about this. There's been one or two little sort of, little bits and pieces, but no one has come and said, I hate this thing, I don't like it, get rid of it type thing.
Right. No, there has not been any major dissent on this content.
Yep.
Next up, we have Outstanding Job Jagex. Big shout out to mods RRman and Shawnee. This one is from the Archmage Alpha. It says, I have to say this update has been amazing. An amazing success. It is fun. The great quality of life updates. Some of the best, even interesting and well integrated new mechanics. Mod RRman, you're one heck of a developer. Solek, Marethiel, and now Lanikia. You're a graphics designer and a superb, quite frankly, unparalleled through one of the game. I vote you update the character models. I don't think anyone would have any objections to that. You're really making the game much more of a beautiful place. Is Mod RRman?
Can I just stop? Mod RRman is not a graphic designer. He doesn't do the character models. He gives them the design and boss designs and such.
Right. He doesn't do that. He's a coder.
No, that's right.
Anyway, yeah. Mod Shawnee, the #1 community manager, your being on top of everything is honestly relieving. It feels like there is something listening and making sure our voices are heard. Your responses are timely and well executed. Thanks to everyone who had a hand to play this as an amazing update, and I look forward to more of RRman's hard work. Yeah, we are.
I'm not.
Yeah,
Every time Mod RRman touches something, skillers get screwed in the ass.
Right. Edit. It seems I was mistaken about the art. Mod Sparky, you are a wonderful developer. Thank you very much for the fine artwork. I honestly...
Yes, screw you, Mod RRman. I don't Sparky I like. Sorry.
Oh, Mod Sparky was actually here this morning then on World 84. He was the mole who was on screen this morning. Floating around. Anyway, what's going on here? Edit. That was the edit here. A big shout out to Mod Cell for correcting my misunderstanding. Yeah. Anyway.
Mod Cell was like, no. Yeah, that's what Mod Cell says. RRman was a content developer behind these. He made everything in the background flawlessly and a great dude. But Mod Sparky is the man behind Laniakia model, and he's done a damn fine job.
All right. Would you care to grab the next one, Pyrn?
I can do the next one. My best friend in real life died back in November. Some of my best memories of him were in RuneScape. I remember the first day I logged in, shortly before the 05 Christmas event. He took me to Draenor Village and watched me die in the sewers. He grabbed what little I had, we laughed, and he gave me some money and got me started with fishing, mining, and woodcutting. Because of him, I was a skiller. I was free to play for the longest time until his mum bought me a membership. He was so much better than me and he had so much more money. I always went to him when I needed new gear. In 8th grade, he moved far away and we stayed in touch, playing RS almost every day. Eventually, life got in the way and we played less as we got older. He then just never logged back in. I got the call about his death from his older sister back in November. It broke me. I miss him every day, but I'm glad I have my memories of him and this game. I don't know what happened to his count as it is no longer listed on the high scores. I just wanted to share my memories and ask what memories are your favourite from your time playing.
Sad, right? It's always sad to hear something like that happen. And I have to say, when you have a longtime friend who you played RuneScape with as a child and they haven't logged in a long time, right? And you sometimes you wonder, right? Like, did they die? And
yeah, I literally have one like that.
Right. And that happened to me with my best friend, my childhood best friend for a while. And then he logged in, when old school RuneScape came to mobile. And I was like, oh, good, you're not dead. I was very happy to find that out. So, thank you, RuneScape Mobile, for confirming that my childhood friend was not dead. Because I feared that happened. And I'm not trying to make light of this story. But, seriously, that is a thing that... Because you can get disconnected from your childhood friends. And RuneScape is seriously a game that brings... you together. And when people disconnect, like when you go offline and you never see somebody again, like RuneScape can be your only contact to another person. And that's kind of scary. Anyway, I like to throw those types of things in there to remind people that video games sometimes are more than just video games. Sometimes they can be a lifeline of communication. And, it can... When you think about like social gaming as a whole and our generation, like this current generation, it's really interesting how how we've incorporated gaming into it and how much it is in our lives, like how much electronics are in our lives opposed to how much they used to be. It's kind of intense. Anyway, moving along. We are almost into the old school block. We have one more story that's like a little on the edge here. As a kid, I always thought Jagex monitored my every action in game. And as a kid, this is kind of that whole like self-centered thinking. Like everyone, when you're a kid, you always kind of feel like your world revolves around you, So I always went into that isolated space of talk with them and ask for good drops. My most memorable request was a god sword, any god sword. I was level 78 and inside Lady Lumbridge. Nobody's ever there. It's a slow Friday and this thought was just spawned inside my mind. How about you? Any memorable story? So he would go inside the Lady Lumbridge and just ask Jagex for drops.
Speak to God.
Yeah, just speak to God, the gods of RuneScape. And
I every week I pray to the luck gods to let me win the lotto, but it never works.
Yeah, no luck yet.
Just get blood necklace shards, Pyrn.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Just those blood necklace shards?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do get a lot of those blood shards.
Wow.
When the only thing when I was a kid is I thought Null was a moderator. That's the only thing.
I remember you telling me that one.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think so, yeah, moving along. All right, here we are.
Oh, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to leave. I'm gonna do a Hana and
Oh,
leave.
the best
all the old
part.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you're missing the best part.
All right.
I'll
it
be
is
keen-
too over
I'll
there,
be
isn't
keen
it?
to listen to it. Yeah.
That's all right.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't want to
Sleep
fall
well,
asleep.
mate.
it's all right.
I don't want to sleep.
You'll better on the entertainment end for this one.
Well, it'd be a bit awkward if I start snoring during the old school part, because then it was.
Why? That's what most people do during old. Sorry.
That's what I mean.
It's all
Yeah.
good.
Good to talk to you guys and catch everyone later.
See ya.
Take care. So here we go. This is the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 posts are about old school RuneScape, and then we have one more post about just Jagex, and then we are done. So here we go. This post was from July 1st. It's called Partnerships. There is a change log here, interestingly enough.
Yeah, that come in a couple of days later, but basically the poll
Yeah.
questions down below is where it starts. So yeah.
Yeah, so I will start from poll questions. It says, since the blog was made live on Monday, there's been a lot of... Is that where we should start? From there? Or do we start up here?
Basically, to give you a
Old school-
taste of what we're currently pondering is where it basically starts from.
Okay.
So if you see poll questions, just go back, up there a little bit.
Okay, since... where is it? Hold on.
I'll read. I'll read from that, and you can take from questions.
Okay.
To give you a taste of what we're currently pondering, ideas include additional skin colors, new emotes, player-owned house styles, and an alternatively home teleport animations. You can see the full list of ideas we're polling below. Don't be alarmed by the length of the list. This doesn't mean we're suddenly going to flood the game with lots of things. We're simply hoping to build a backlog of ideas that you are happy with and to ensure that you have complete visibility on anything we might add to the game. Both ourselves and our partners are really excited to see what ideas catch your imagination. And we're also really keen to hear about your original ideas that haven't occurred to us. Let us know. We promise that you, our players, will get all you have to say. Later this week, we'll open the poll booths with a number of these potential offerings, so you'll be able to tell us which ideas feel right for OS and which do not. Looking after you is every bit as important as trying to attract new people into the old school family. We owe every bit of our success to you, our players, and we can't wait to work with you on making old school the very best it can be. We want your feedback. No, you don't. We will be talking more about the blog and poll on Wednesday's Q&A, which you can watch at 5 p.m. BST on the Old School Twitch channel. And you can continue the discussion on Reddit. What a stupid comment that one was as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Reddit's not a good forum. So the poll, since the blog was made live on Monday, there has been a lot of feedback, making it clear that some cosmetic items in-game are the pinnacle of displaying accomplishments and achievements. We agree entirely, and we'd like to explain why we've opted for additions we're polling. You've been talking about the pride at the end of the grind for things like the Champion's Cape or the Bloodhound. That's precisely why we aren't polling a pet or anything that's equipable. Player-owned house-style decorations are seen only by yourself and any others you might invite. Yeah, so everyone, like things you equip. Anyway, skin colors are hidden by weaponry and armors. Home teleports. That's such a convoluted reason. I'm sorry. Home teleports is available to all players from the beginning of their journey. And animations we're offering are only slight visible changes to the original. We don't want to undermine anything you've earned. The following text and questions is a representative of how the poll will appear once it is made live, pending your feedback. Earlier this week, we spoke about growing old school RuneScape through working with key partners in-game, in the gaming world. In this poll, you'll be able to vote on a number of cosmetic changes. In the dedicated blog, we specified that all items will be made available alongside a partnership, but will then be made available to all players once the partnership ends. So here are...
Now that's the very first important thing that they say there. It is going to be earnable in game, but this is a way to bring extra revenue into the game.
Exactly.
And players need to stop being selfish. Jagex are a company that has overheads and such to pay. Your game doesn't come out for free. Your game is financed, by memberships and such. Now, we were saying earlier, if you take the memberships and their overheads, the game, I think OSRS netted about 500k for the year. Sounds like a lot of money to you and I, but I mean, to a company, that's pennies. That is not enough to keep a game viable in that. You want to keep your mods, you want to get more development and such done. It needs to be paid for, and you cannot keep being a vampire and sucking the money out of RS3 to keep your game going. There was a big thing, OSRS mods don't get paid enough. They need a pay rise. They need this. They need that. Well, that's fine, but you're not going to take the money. The money I spend on my game RS3, I want to stay on my game RS3. I don't want to be going to you and doing your one, because this is a game I enjoy. I'm happy to pump money into my game, and if I buy an MTX or whatever, as long as it's, I know it's staying in my game, all for it. But these people, they want their cake and they want to eat it too. And this is the best way, and this is the way we said MTX should come into OSRS. I mean, you don't want... XP and all that type of stuff should never go into that game, but cosmetics are a perfect way to do it. And I think this is the least egregious way, the best way that they can do it. Keep the game as it is, but just get that little bit of extra revenue to do things like, new updates, pay rises for your mods, and all that type of stuff that you are all calling for. Excuse me.
I love that.
So I'll let you read the.
Yeah, no problem. So they have how many questions? I was going. They have 23 questions.
There was over 20. I remember when.
And the questions are all themed the same, except for one particular modifier inside the question, and that is basically the theme of the item. And that is pretty much what the item is themed around, which is, do you want an item themed around Mauritania? Do you want an item themed around the cave goblin city of Dorgish Khan? Do you want an item themed around the city on Arceus House? I think that's from Corand or something. I don't know.
Corand, yeah.
Corand. Themed around the area of Mount Karulum. Yep. Prifdinius. I know that one. I almost said Prifdinius because you know. Old school Lieta. You want something themed around there. You know that place. I know that one. The Wilderness. I almost want that one. See, I would say I want all of these. Do you want a home teleport that draws a holy symbol of Saradomin, Guthix, an unholy symbol, maybe an ancient symbol on the ground, or a serene symbol? I don't even know what that is.
Seren.
Oh, that's how you spell Seren?
Yeah, Seren. Seren. Oh, sorry, the serene symbol. Yeah, but it's a Seren-themed one, a serene symbol.
Okay.
Armadillos, which are the armadillion type, and
sure,
bandos.
I get you.
But these are all just little cosmetics, and I don't see anything wrong with any of these. I actually went in and voted yes on every single one of these.
There's a couple emotes in here too, right? Like they bring back some of the 2008 emotes. Like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with we're bringing back some of the? That's actually bringing back historically accurate content.
Yep.
Like, I don't.
And the thing is, and this is the biggest point that I can make. This is
that's
released, say, for 6 months or 12 months, with that you buy it, and then it's going to be released for you to earn in game.
I actually want to raise a red flag here.
Yep.
Locking historically accurate content behind partnerships is a little bit of a red flag to me. But
they're not locking it because it's initial releases this way, and then it's going to be in game.
Yes.
So you're not locking it. You're making it.
You're psychologically incentivizing people to pay for nostalgic content, which is scummy.
Okay,
in my opinion.
And there is 1, 2, 3. There is 4 items out of those 23 that they say that to. So okay, if people want that, that's fine. Take those.
Yes,
ones out.
I would say no to yes. I would say no to those 4
If you
things,
want to not do that, that's fine. I mean, I can sort of understand why you wouldn't want that. So I can certainly say okay. I'll say no to that.
Exactly.
I mean, I did go through and say yes to everything because I didn't sort of think of anything like that personally. Yeah. But still, all the other stuff there...
Because we didn't have the moral council before we went through the poll. Pyrnassius doesn't have a moral part to his...
Pyrnassius thinks on the lines of, you're getting a game at a relatively cheap price. It has overheads. And if you want to keep going, unless you want to start throwing them extra money for your memberships...
Pyrnassius wants old school RuneScape to operate in the red light district.
I want them to operate financially viable in their own right.
It's old school RuneScape, libertarian edition. So I mean,
let's be fair as well.
Yes,
let's be fair as
I try
well
to
and say that we do have to keep in mind that it is official that OSRS is a beta platform for RS3 that has come from the mouth of Mod Osborne.
I cut that post from today's show, actually, just because
Aww.
we had so many topics. I can bring it in.
Put it back in. Yeah, put it back in right at the end. Or put it in now where we can talk about after all this. We can throw that in.
Can somebody cut all of those little things into audio snippets for me that Pyrn just said? Like, if you know, you know. Thank you. Anyway, I do have all of the pulp. DX went into old school RuneScape and cut the polls for me before they failed. So I do have,
and they failed spectacularly.
Yes. So I do have. I'm just pulling up XSplit real quick here. I do actually have the polls before they pulled them out of game because they actually
when I was doing it, there was like 93% and 96% were all sort of. It was just incredible to know.
Yeah, they just they totally were just like, no, we're not gonna.
And I mean, I'm sorry that goes to show how they don't understand their community. To even contemplate trying to poll something like this and expecting rational thought out of that community, it was just mind blowing that they would expect rational thought and rational reasoning from that.
Well, just
the I want, me community.
They're not
cool, and I mean,
you have to understand this is the community that exodused from the game because of
Treasure Hunter.
Yeah. So when you try to literally push them back in that direction, why would you expect anything different?
That's right. Just bring it in. Don't say, listen, with mobile, this is what we're doing. We're bringing. We know it's going to upset it. Or purely cosmetic partnerships, but what we've agreed to do with those partners is once that time, that's 6 months is up, or that 9 months, we're going to release it in bang. You'll have some jumping up and down and such, but if you dictate to them what is going to happen and why it's going to happen and that you will be getting it for free in a few months, I think they would have... they still would have had a lot of flack thrown at them, but I think
some people would have taken a hiatus, but they'd come back because all the stuff would be free, and they would have gotten over it.
Exactly, and the thing is, you've brought in so many new players on that mobile platform. Mobile games expect to pay money for things.
Mm-hmm. So
mobile games expect to spend money on.
Let's get inside some of these old school RuneScape players. So this got 12.8 thousand upvotes on Reddit real quick. So this is a friendly reminder to vote no to all microtransactions by Tish Sheep. It says, Jagex promised from the start no microtransactions. Then Jagex promised that bonds would be the only microtransactions. Now Jagex is not only actively polling more microtransactions, but attempting to deceive the player base by calling it partnership. We have made it clear over and over again that we do not want MTX. We have to continue to make it clear that we do not want MTX. Jagex slaughtered RuneScape 2 back in the day with ridiculous MTX and awful cosmetics. Now they're attempting to do it again. Do not let Jagex destroy another game due to seeking short-term profit. They've updated it and said the weekly Q&A live stream just concluded, and at 6:50 in the video, it is explicitly stated that if the polls fail, then they will not pursue the partnership. So, again, they did state that in the Q&A. So, let's continue on here on the timeline. So, more honest feedback. I downloaded this apparently. This got even more upvotes. It got 14.7 thousand upvotes, mind you. Pika RS. Or Pika RAS, rather, maybe. You want my honest feedback? Here it is. Note This is for management, not moderated, not JMods. Your game is extraordinarily expensive for the services you offer. All right. I want to stop there for a second. Isn't Premier...
He's an idiot straight away.
I was like, isn't Premier Club like $80 a year for like United States?
Yeah.
And like...
Yeah, I mean, I spend more money in going to a movie 3 times than I do in a year's membership of OSRS. RS3.
Yeah, and you get both games for the same like amount of money. Like RuneScape is an incredible value. He pays $132 a year. I'm very sorry for wherever you live in the world. I understand.
He's obviously Australian. No, it's not even Australia. Australia's 100.
Maybe he's New Zealand.
It was $112, so maybe he's New Zealand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody Kiwi sheep fiddlers.
Yeah, because it could also be from South America. They also have a heavy player base in South America. There's certain places in the world where it is very expensive to play RuneScape, so I really should check my privilege there and be aware of that. But for me, it is not super expensive to play RuneScape. For him, it is $132 a year to play RuneScape. But if I paid $103, all right, again, let me stop there. I spend probably, I'm not proud to say this, but I probably spend about $300 to $400 a year on RuneScape. So go yourself. I think RuneScape is worth way more than $132 a year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to me, for the amount of entertainment I get out of this, I would be one of those. If my membership went from the $10 a year to $20 a year, I'd happily pay that. I know many people out there wouldn't, but for me, the value that I get, I mean, even if you spend 1 hour a day, that's 7 hours a week.
Yeah,
that's 28 hours a month, basically 30 hours a month that you'll be getting of entertainment for $10.
Right.
Movie costs you $20,
right,
and it's 90 minutes long.
Exactly. So we got a bonus XP weekend coming up at the end of the month. I might throw $20 at it. It depends on if there's a time to train promo. This promo right now is a really good promo, especially for early. I got 100% bonus XP on those freaking Dawn Lanterns because Herblore is one of my last skills apparently or whatever. I don't know. But lowest, yeah.
Dawn Lanterns give it on your lowest, and the Dusk Lanterns give it on your highest skills.
Yeah, and I need if I could just get 20 or what do I need? I need like if I have 34 million XP left, how much bonus XP do I need to get?
17.
17 million, yeah. So I need 17 million. I'm almost there. So I should just have bonus XP all the way. I want to get bonus XP all the way. That's all I want, and I'll be a happy camper. That's $20 should get me there. I am broke, and I literally have 6.8 million gold left to my account's name because of this stupid freaking dragon hides. I mean, once I sell the dragon hides, I'm sure I'll get some of my money back. But anyway, let me continue on here. I way digress when I saw the amount of money he spent on the game and the fact that he's angry about it because I fall victim to microtransactions, but at the same time, the amount of time I play on RuneScape, I still feel like I get my value out of it because I probably spend at least 2,000 hours a year in RuneScape. At least. That's probably like maybe in like 3 months. Anyway, I pay $132 a year. More than Smash Ultimate, SMM2, and a year of Nintendo Internet combined. For this, imagine if you had to pay for RuneScape Internet. For this, I get only one profile on a bot-filled spaghetti game. Listen, that's your problem. Don't
play old school. Go and move across to RS3. You don't have many bots. You don't have game-breaking bugs. There's occasional little bugs, but nothing that's game-breaking. Anyway.
Right, the interface is way better. Bot-filled spaghetti game. Can somebody please go in to the Play Store and rate old school RuneScape as a bot-filled spaghetti game? Anyway, it's in the bot-filled spaghetti game that has frequently game-breaking bugs. My customer service is a frequently asked questions page. My account security is left entirely to third-party email, and any breaches are seen as my fault, even if they go through your system. There are no spokespersons, so you're constantly sent to underpaid devs to gaslight the community whenever shit hits the fan. Jeez. Your company is a joke. They're only becoming the largest developer in the UK, and publisher, like small publisher. They're like the smallest independent publisher in the UK, but they're a joke. I'm not mad. Before you even think about trying to squeeze money out of us, how about using that effort to make games actually worth $132 a year? And if you really cannot, stop insulting the community by withholding the content we are already overpaying for. Why pay for this game? Because we love it. If you really want to shatter that trust by trying to squeeze pennies out of us, we will leave again, just like we left RuneScape 3. Edit. Thank you guys, but gold means little to me. He's gonna just be like a selfless martyr now because he got a bunch of he got a bunch of microtransactions from Reddit. Was there a bunch of hypocrites? Anyway,
Yeah.
So
They want everything for nothing. I mean, it's it's like walking into the supermarket and picking up the steak and walking out and then saying, "What do you mean you want me to pay for it?" No, I bought those chips over there, so I want this steak for free.
I understand their frustration and I understand their fear.
Yeah. I mean, of course I understand all that, but what they've got to understand is they want more. This guy's calling for better updates, get rid of the bots, fix the game-breaking bugs.
Yep.
That costs money. That needs to come in from somewhere.
Yeah.
Your $10 a month does not cover everything with your overheads.
Right.
You are siphoning money out of the MTX of this game.
Right.
But yet you don't want to do it there. If you want that game, if they do not get MTX, the owners of the company are not going to continue. I don't care what the CEO says, what the senior mods say. If
your membership's
your investors tell them to put in MTX because it needs to make money, you will get MTX or you will have your game closed down. It will go the way of Classic because it is not viable to keep updating it.
Or, like, your next proposal is going to be like a $25 a month separate membership. Like, that's the only thing I'm going to... Because, like, that was, in my opinion, one of the most liberal, creative policies that they could have possibly proposed that gives... Thank you very much. First year of many. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Phantom. Thank you very much for the subscription and the support over the year. I really, really, really appreciate you sticking by. I don't know how they could have come up with a more liberal policy that allows them to both bring in money from the outside, but at the same time give everyone the item after the fact, so everyone still has access to it. Whereas on our side, like when PC Gamer has a special, like I had to go out and basically email PC Gamer and be like, "You got any more of them fire liking codes?" And they're like, "Yeah, they're $5," and I'm like, "Okay," and I bought it. Literally, like,
this is one. I mean, I do make a lot of jokes about OSRS. So I do play that game, and it is a fun game to jump on my mobile. Such, and it's a different game to RS3. It's gone along a different route, but we've got to look at the viability of all these things, and I don't want to see that game go down the gurgler. I want to see it flourish. I want to see it continue bringing people in, because if they play that game, they'll come across and try this, and if they enjoy the better graphics and the combat system and all that, they'll stay on this game. If they don't like that, they'll stay on that game. It's an introduction to this game, from OSRS. They've got to be sensible. You are getting the 2 games for free. Okay, I don't want to play OSRS. I don't want to play RS3 as an OSRS person. That's fine if you want 2 separate memberships. But then all of a sudden, if they have to rely solely on memberships on that game, as you said, it is going to become $20, $25 a month to play, to keep it viable in the eyes of the investors who are pumping their money into it and expecting a return on investment.
Or get ready for this, alongside your membership, every 10 seconds, get ready for an unskippable ad to pop up on your screen and to play with audio that you cannot turn off.
Every time you log in. Every time you log in, get an ad, and you get auto logged every 2 hours or something, and then you've got to load up again and play that an ad.
Another. That's and you're paying that membership, even whether you're a member. It doesn't matter if you're a member or not. Just like Hulu,
that's right. You're going to fight Bandos. As you go into the thing, an ad pops up before you are allowed to do your boss fight.
Exactly.
I mean, they're the type of things that you may be facing if they can't do things like this. The beauty about having an MTX system of cosmetics on the game is you then have a choice. I can spend the money and buy it. I don't have to spend the money and buy it. You have that choice. If you are then forced with ads and all that, you won't have a choice. You have to sit there and watch it. And that is going to be detrimental to your gameplay. That's going to take things away from it. If you want to keep playing and they put the membership up, you don't have a choice. If you want to keep playing, you must pay that higher membership. A cosmetic MTX is they're not saying we're pumping XP lamps and all that into the game. They're also saying we are going to give you these items for free once the partnership is over. So whether it's 6 months or 12 months, you will then get that given to you for free. So the ones who want to buy it can have it now, but you'll get it for free if you really feel bad and don't want to put any money into it.
And they've already said, like, hey, we're not going to partner with Taco Bell. We're not going to partner with Pepsi. Like, they've been pretty open and transparent with the community, whereas other game companies straight up are like, gamer fuel, grab a bag of Doritos and like get in the game, get your like Mountain Dew skin right now on your gun, right?
Come and fight the Red Bull Zilliana or Coca-Cola Bandos, or
like
Lay's chips. Suroth.
Can you imagine that? Like that. They've already said that wouldn't have been a thing, but you threw that out the window. Now that's on the table because anything's on the table now.
That's right. They need to make food. I mean, the investors need to make a return on investment. If your company's only making them $5K, that's not enough return on investment for the money. They'll scrap OSRS in the hope that they'll get even if they get 10% of those people on OSRS back over to RS3 to spend the money over. That may be that'll be something they may say, okay, that's worthwhile to us, especially with mobile coming out and such, because mobile, you expect to spend money on mobile and they can all say, oh, yeah, but, we've got 80,000 people playing our game and you've only got 20,000. Well, go back before mobile was released. We had the 20,000, you had 30,000. Those extra 50,000 people have come in from mobile.
Sorry, I loaded up some pages.
Should have MTX. Now, if you ask anyone says MTX, oh, you've got to spend money, they're going to say no. You come to me and say, hey, I'm going to give you this, but you've got to spend money. I'm going to say no.
Right.
Really. But, that's just the way humans think. But if you sort of give a reason, listen, you can have MTX where we put these in. You can have ads that pop up before you enter a new area or a boss fight. You log in, or we're going to put your membership up to $25 a month. There's your three choices. What do you want? You have to choose one of those things.
Right.
What's going to be the most popular way then?
Right. If you give somebody a choice like that and you lay out ABC and you force them to use their locomotion mind opposed to their analytical mind, they are going... First of all, they're going to just have to pick. And B, they are going to be more satisfied with their choice.
That's right.
It's just psychology. I'm going to skip our next article because it actually spoils a little bit of something else I didn't realize now that I'm reading through it, and it's actually not a very good read. So skip the applause article and move along to Jagex. If the entire community decides partnerships are microtransactions, then that's what they are. It does not matter what you consider them to be, which I think is funny because that's not how facts work. But if you would like to read that, please go ahead.
Yep. Okay, let me just take a mouthful of my drink.
Sure. That's a huge thing these days. Is like if this group of people decides it's one thing, then that's what it is. It's like no.
If we decide that the sky is not blue, we want to call it purple. Yeah. It is purple.
It's like no. Science says this. That's what. It's like you can't change an immutable property. Like no.
That's the good thing about science, though. There's no one correct answer. You know, everyone can have their own opinion.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That's right.
The entire community voted in these polls, not just Reddit, Twitter, or some other vocal minority, and everyone voted no. Not everyone. I voted yes. Everyone voted no for a reason, and that reason was because they were microtransactions. Call them what you want, partnerships, sponsored content, etc. It doesn't matter. The community doesn't want that. Of course they don't, and we don't want it over here either, but we understand that, this is what has to happen. I'm writing this post because in the most recent blog, it seems like they were upset the people kept calling them microtransactions and not partnerships. It's disheartening because instead of understanding that the community was not happy with the idea of partnerships, they seem to try and act passive, aggressive, and double down on the "we will never add MTX," when nearly the entire community is in agreement that it's what they were trying to do. I'm sick of arguing semantics with this. Call them whatever you want, but understand that it doesn't matter. If it was something the OSRS community disagreed with, and not because we were calling it the wrong thing. Edit. Reading back, I don't want anyone who sees this to think I'm upset with what happened. They honoured the poll results, results that we're obviously unhappy with. I just do not like the tone of the devs had in the most recent blog post. It sounded like they were talking down to children who just didn't understand what was going on. We know what we want in the game. Don't act like we simply don't understand what we're talking about. And the reason... I have heard from other sources that a few of the OSRS dev blogs have requested pay rises, and they have been told no, there's not enough money in the budget for that game to warrant that at this stage, and that's why they want to try and get these things in.
I wonder why, yeah.
Because obviously they want pay rises, and if the game is not generating the money that they need, then why are you going to give someone a pay rise?
Right. Exactly. And that's not fair for the moderators, but the community is shooting them themselves in the foot.
Yep.
All right. Now, I actually put these next two in the wrong order here. I need Matt K is supposed to be first here. It says, the question I always had, which I could not answer with a good conscience, was what benefit does adding them as a reward from a partnership give to the community, which isn't gained by just giving them to players? I'll be voting no, as I prefer to see them added normally. And this is Matt K.
Of course you would, but you've left the company, so I don't take the thing that you say. It's worth a spit in the wind as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, he could be disgruntled at this point. We don't know. I mean, he's trying to build up cred with the streamer community. I feel like, I think he wants to be a streamer. I think he's trying to build up a public image. He wants to build up.
Of course.
I think he wants to build cred. I don't trust him at all, especially after what Mod Ash says here in response.
Yeah. And that's what gets. I mean, when everyone's saying, Matt K was here from the beginning. He helped bring the game to where it is now. He is old school, but no, he isn't. He up and left the game for richer pastures because he got offered better money somewhere else.
Right.
He's not old school because he said, screw the community. Right. I'm getting more money elsewhere. That's exactly what the company's trying to do. Get more money for their investment. So Why didn't he continue? Why didn't he actually take a pay cut and stay there to make sure that the game. Listen, I'll take a pay cut so that we can keep these MTXs off. And no, what he did, he jumped ship and went and worked somewhere else because he wanted more money.
Right on.
Sorry.
So Monash replies. Oh, someone says. Monash replies and says, "Interesting. You work with the guy for 6 years and hear them running focus sessions on how to better monetize old school RuneScape and hear their conclusions about cosmetics, and you think you know their opinions. Apparently not. Thank you. It was most revealing." So that's, most revealing for us as well. When you hear that he's the one running the focus sessions on how to monetize old school RuneScape. And then he votes no. So that's just kind of, in my opinion, a little fishy. So I think he's just trying to build cred up with his old people because he just wants to stay relevant. But that's just me. That's just a theory. A mage theory. So there's an update, obviously, at the end of all this nonsense. I'll read the update, and you can read the response by Loveskia. The update says, at the beginning of this week, we published a blog on working with potential partners in the games industry. What we were offering in this blog post represented a change to how content could be introduced to the game. However, for any game to continuously grow and attract new players, there is a need for strong partnerships that engage existing players, attract new players, and give returning players an incentive to come back and play. We pride ourselves on ensuring that our players can vote on in-game content, including content related to commercial efforts, like that which we are offering in the partnerships poll. As far as we're concerned, polling is the epitome of community-driven game development and is the heart of old school RuneScape. The poll was set to end on Monday, 8th of July. You came to vote in your thousands, and voting so far has sent a clear message. And as such, we've made the decision to end the poll early. The results were so one-sided that the outcome of the poll could not change. It's this, coupled with the divisive decision surrounding the poll, that has led us to make what we believe is the right call to close the polling booths early. We'd like to thank you for voting and your continued passion around old school. We hope that you continue to trust in the polling process just as we do. We'd also like to take this opportunity to share some insight into why we offered the content that we did. Everything we stated in the blog was entirely true. Had the content we offered passed in the poll, it would have been added to the backlog of content we had to call upon whenever a partnership was active. There would be no surprises whenever a partnership was approaching, and you would know exactly what content to expect. If the content had passed, it would not have led to more invasive forms of advertising or monetization, but would have enabled us to do exciting things for our players with partners such as Twitch, Discord, and more. Our motivation for poll stems from our belief that tying the partnership to content that we think you honestly like to see in game, our partners would then be more inclined to help us with our partners would then be more inclined to help us with actively. That's good for all players. The content we choose, we did so as a result of extensive focus group testing. Yes, you were not part of that focus group testing, I'm sorry. We heard loud and clear that the old school community would not accept the likes of viable resources, wealth, or XP. We heard that you would not accept any additions which were either exclusive through purchasing or partnership, nor would you accept anything that would become discontinued. We either heard that you would wear. I'm sorry. We heard that you wear your cosmetic accomplishments with a feeling of pride. That's why we promised that the content we were offering would become freely available to all players once the partnership ended. It's why we've offered cosmetic content like the player-owned house-style decorations that would be seen by only yourself and other players you invited to your house. We are disappointed that the reception to the blog has focused around monetization in-game, something that is not in any of our plans, although we can understand your trepidation. We would like to categorically highlight once again that the forms of monetization listed in the paragraph above will not be coming to Old School, and that everything we are doing with Old School is to enable this amazing game to grow, be more fun for you, and experience by more people around the world. It should be noted that partnerships is not a catch-all term. There are many types of commercial partnership opportunities, and as well, the ones suggested in the poll, we've partnered in the past with the likes of Apple and Google, who have been pivotal in helping us bring Old School to mobile to you all in October last year. So rather than Walmart or Pepsi, we would like to partner with companies who make sense to both of us, yourselves, and the game itself. Whilst we do believe that partnerships can be used to grow Old School RuneScape, your game to work with, to see that you would be happy with, again, we welcome your feedback and the rest, and rest assured, no in-game content for partnerships will be added without a poll. Collaboration is at the heart of decisions we make, so we will work directly with players at our HQ in Cambridge and with the broader community so you can advise us on the right way to build partnerships that excite rather than cause confusion and fear. Everyone at Jagex wants Old School RuneScape to be a game that you play and enjoy for many years to come.
And there's a big thing. Everyone at Jagex wants Old School to do that. Now, we need to monetize it, or we need to get more funds coming in. Otherwise, it won't be here for many years. It will go classic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I'm sorry. It is your company. You are the business. Stop apologizing all the time. There has to be some way for you to do these type of things. And I think rather than just doing something like that, as we said before, give players a choice. What would you prefer? A cosmetic you have the choice to buy? A price increase? Or we have ads where, maybe we can do $5 membership becomes the premium one where you don't get ads. Your $10 membership, you'll get ads every time you log in. You get an auto log out after 4 hours, and then you'll have to log in and get an ad again. Or you're free to play where every time you go to a new area or start something, you have to sort of face an ad first. Then you can go and cut your wood, or go and fight your boss. That type of thing. And this is, I mean, I often make jokes and such about MTX and such and Old School and things, but it is a serious thing. I mean, the investors, they're not a charity. They put money in and expect a return on their investment, and if they are not getting that return, they won't support your game. And that's what you've got to think about. Are you willing to stop the tirade and let common sense prevail and just understand that companies need to make money. They have overheads. Your mods want a pay rise. They deserve it. I mean, they put a hell of a lot of work in over there. And I mean, we've seen a team grow from 4 mods up to, I think it's about 23 mods now that they have on OSRS. That costs money. You want that continued development. You want that artwork. I mean, a lot of the artists that they have over there, they sort of have to drag some RS3 artists over there occasionally to help out with certain things and such. If you want that to continue, it's got to be paid for somehow. And whether you have an increased membership, we separate the two games, which I think would be a bad thing, because I think that sort of working between the two games, letting people sort of have a look at both games and see what they like and be able to jump between the two. If you get bored of one, jump over to the other one and have a bit of a play around there for a while, and then you can come back to the other one. I think that is a great thing to do. I don't really want to see that sort of split. But that may be something that has to happen. As you said, otherwise there's going to be ads. We will have a banner sitting across the top of your screen advertising, Papa John's pizzas, $5, or Subways, your $5 footlongs and things like that are going to be sitting on your screen all the time when you play. These are the type of things that you've got to weigh up what is going to happen, what is the best for the game as a whole to make sure this game is here in 5 years' time. You've got to remember, OSRS is only a 5-year-old game. Do we want to see it go another 5 years, or is it going to start winding up? It's gone to mobile. Does it become, hey, we're just going to make it a mobile-only game, leave it on there where we can sit there and, just get all our money off the mobile things, because it'll attract people through mobile. They'll lose, they might lose that sort of, hardcore 10% of the player base, but I think 90% of them would stay or take a bit of a hiatus and come back. I don't think it would be as detrimental as a lot of people think. People are sheep, but once they're sort of out of that mindset where the loudest people keep telling them what to think and what to do, once they sort of get away from that and start thinking a bit for themselves and say, well, I did really enjoy that game. MTXs wasn't really going to affect me having a couple of cosmetics. I'll go back and play, and I think they would draw their people back and such. But, you've got to think of that longevity. And I don't care what these developers and CEOs say about never having MTX and all that. If your owners tell you this is what you must do, the shareholders sit down and say, we want this, and if you say no, you're out on your bum, and they'll put one of their own people in charge who may do even more egregious things. You're better off probably working with the people who are there fighting for you. And let's remember, all these mods are fighting for you. They're trying to appease their shareholders and the player base. Now, if they turn around, if Fukong turn around and say, okay, Mod Pips, you're out, we're going to put one of our own people in there, all of a sudden you don't have that champion fighting for you to hold it back and keep a tight rein on what can come in and not come in. If they go and put in one of their own people, all of a sudden everything's up in the air and things can change in a split second.
Right. The second somebody sees old school as a liability instead of a golden egg, old school could just be tossed aside.
Yep. And I don't think they'll actually toss aside as such. I think they will just sit there and try and monetize the crap out of it until it dies itself.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. That's what you do with a game that you think is, no longer worthy of keeping around. You just,
and that's what I mean. If you want to keep Mod Pips and the team there, so you sort of you have to sometimes give a little bit. You have to be a little bit flexible in what you do to make sure that those people championing you can stay there and champion you. Because otherwise, if they send someone from China over in charge of the company who says, okay, this is what we're doing, we're going to have a 5-year goal. So we're going to expect over 5 years the player base drops away until there's nothing there. So let's pump as much money out of it as we can over the next 3 to 5 years and just suck every bit they can. And then in 5 years' time, when the game's destroyed, there's no player base, there's nothing there, it's just shut down completely. And that's what we don't want to see happen. As much as I make jokes about OSRS and stuff, I don't want to see it die. It's a fun game. It has its own people who like playing it and such, and they should be able to continue playing it and things. But they also need to be a little bit flexible themselves and understand that you can't have everything your own way 100% of the time.
No, you cannot. So, do you want to grab Loveskios, or would you like me to?
Actually, sorry, that was the last one I've done. Let me open up. You grab it, because I'm about to have a coffee.
No problem. The tone and wording in the update about partnerships reveals this whole thing isn't over yet, and frankly makes me lose motivation to play old school RuneScape. As many people have said, if you read between the lines of the most recent regards to partnerships, the whole post was passive aggressive. It was basically the higher ups throwing a temper tantrum. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think it was necessarily the uppers throwing a temper tantrum, but I think it was the current game, old school RuneScape, just trying to figure out how to record, how to stay viable. That's all. Like, I think that they need to find a long-term plan for monetization. I mean, definitely the uppers are a threat, but you have to have a plan, for your own company. I mean, subscriptions are great, but you can't have a giant development team making your game and just charge $10 a month. I would love to do that. That would be awesome if it could just be that simple. Then I'd run an MMORPG. But it's not that easy. He says, this whole ordeal has left a bad taste in players' mouths. I've heard other people say that they don't feel like putting in as much time in the game as they used to. Poor fella. So, 71% upvoted. Sadly. So, oh well. Moving along. This next one frightens me a little bit. I pulled this comment out of this thread here. It says, for real, we need to continue to show Jagex and the Overlords that we mean business. Next time, they'll try even harder to manipulate us into voting yes by dangling some critical feature, our content into balance, but attaching it to a partnership, just like they did with bonds and free-to-play. So, I mean, it just goes to show you that they are very adamant against this, and the community might be their own undoing, is really what I'm trying to say here. And that's
sorry about that.
No problem. That's my main concern, is that the community is going to be its own undoing.
And that's a scary thing.
Yeah. But that's unfortunately because of their old school views. You're trying to use, you apply this old school logic in a new meta environment. It doesn't necessarily work. Anyway, we've got one more article here before we wrap up the show. It's about some senior level hires here. Jagex adds some more firepower to its development team as its aggressive 2019 recruitment drive continues. So here we have, with Jagex aiming to grow its workforce by 25% in 2019, Melissa Bachman-Wood joins as vice president of the studio. A games industry veteran holding more than 20 years experience, Melissa started her career at Maxis and continues with Electronic Arts, managing cross-functional teams of the Sims franchise. Today, Melissa is a leader in game development and live services and has held senior studio head roles at Backbone Entertainment, Kixeye, and Jam City. So some interesting development roles there. Some people might be afraid of her background at EA, but EA, they're not all evil.
That's right. And I mean, you remember a lot of these people have left EA, so
right,
reason,
right.
That's they didn't agree with certain things.
Exactly. EA as a company has that evil loom, but you can't.
Yeah.
You can't target every single person that has ever worked for a company.
No. And that's the thing. I mean, we look at all these big companies as entities we have to fight against and all that, and we need to work in partnerships with them, and that's what I think OSRS is trying to do.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, people just aren't seeing it that way.
In addition, James Burns has joined Jagex as technical director, working on the company's as yet an unannounced online action role-playing game. And again, ARPG, just to hammer that home there. Keep that in your minds. It is an ARPG. Burns holds over 18 years in the games industry, specializing in online engineering, with stints at PlayStation, Activision, and Splash Damage. At Jagex, Burns will be the driving force behind the game's development, ensuring the project is at the front line of technical innovation. Here, next up, we have Malaki O'Neill, has been appointed as Director of Quality Assurance, formerly of Nintendo of Europe, Electronic Arts, Microsoft, Natural Motion, and Zynga. O'Neill will head up Jagex's experienced team to deliver a range of high-quality QA services. So, Nick Belly of SVP of Jagex said, with the significant talent we're able to continuously attract to Jagex, it's very clear that big things lie ahead for the studio. These great new additions to the team add industry-leading experience and knowledge, which fuel our goals to build and expand RuneScape and old-school RuneScape for players on both PC and mobile, extend the franchise to new platforms and new game experiences, and bring new living games into the Jagex portfolio. By the way, Nick Belliaf is also not that old of a hire himself, I want to add. Melissa Bachman-Wood, VP of Studio, said, I'm thrilled to join Jagex team and delighted for the chance to enable our teams to deliver even more great games to our players. I'm eager to help Jagex Studio strategy and execution to enable Jagex to excel in its ambition to be the home of living games, building out our world-class studio teams and processes. Jagex has also welcomed Mark Faulkner as its new director of publishing platform, while Ben Albon is promoted to IT director from his previous as lead operations engineer. There you go.
And that's welcome back, Mark Faulkner. So he's obviously left and come back.
I love you, Dim Mangy Wolves.
He didn't get a haircut.
No, he did not.
Mark Faulkner's welcome back. So he's obviously worked there before and has come back.
Yes, maybe they found him in a duct or something. So there you go. That is our show. That was a pretty decent show. I enjoyed it. It was long. It was full of. It's always fun when we get to do a hybrid show. I only do a hybrid show when it's a dumpster fire over there, though.
Yeah, but I mean, as I said, I mean, we make jokes and such, but I am worried. I do hope that I do wake up and see that something needs to be done.
Yeah,
and
do it to raise awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully that. Yeah, exactly what you just said. Hopefully, what we talk about is worth something. Probably not. But it's worth trying at the very least. I feel like sometimes talking without. I would love to get And here's the thing: going on Old School RuneScape Weekly might be an interesting experience. Maybe I'll get to talk to them about partnerships. Who knows? Maybe I'll strike a nerve. We'll see. Anyway, don't forget, we are now on Spotify. If you are interested in making the switch from whatever podcast platform you are currently using, you can make the jump if you are so inclined. Also, we are now on TuneIn as well, if that is another thing that you prefer. tune in is also an option. Anyway, with that being said, the 10-year anniversary intro, we had a lot of fun with that in the pre-show. We found some really interesting stuff in the folder, in the lost episode folder. I don't even remember some of the stuff that we found. The RuneScape rap was interesting. We found Hydra's inaugural episode. I don't know, some other stuff was in there as well. There's some really weird stuff in there. You can check that out at patreon.com/RuneScape. You can listen to some of the teasing stuff in today's pre-show if you want to check it out. Patreon.com/RuneScape. It's only $1 to check out the pre-shows. That'll be up today. I'll be getting that up after I get off the show. And check out, make sure my family is alive. It's always a good idea. Anyway, thank you so much.
Just before we go, can I just...
No.
I meant to bring this up earlier, and I forgot all about it. I did some testing on
hey, James.
On the new AFK methods of butterfly hunting and also the new yellow salamander. So remember, I've got the 15% bonus with the 7% volcanic hunter outfit, 6% clan boost, and the 2% Yaktui stick.
Yes.
But basically at Ruby Harvest, so I got 155k Hunter XP, 26k Agility. Sapphire Glacialis, 160k Hunter XP and 35k Agility XP. Snowy Knights, 197k XP and 51.5k Agility XP. And Black Warlocks come out at 225k an hour XP and almost 55k Agility XP in that time. So that's that's AFK method. I've basically done AFK all the way through the show, nice and simple. Yellow Salamanders, 210k XP. Now they are a level 75 creature. Don't forget, I am max, so I am sort of 99 on everything. But while they did nerf your turtles and such, they've made it a lot better all round in hunting and just sort of made it a more fun skill. So just to let people know that on hunters, the AFK side of things that they have introduced is really, really good.
James is new to RuneScape, he says. Welcome to RuneScape. That's awesome. We were just talking about being new to RuneScape earlier. I personally love the feeling of new memories. New memories are some of my favorite memories. Being able to look back on. Anyway, unfortunately, we are right at the end of the podcast. If you missed the show, unfortunately, we will be doing a rerun. And again, you could catch this episode on any podcast aggregator. If you want as well, you can find us on social media. Facebook.com/RSWeekly. We're also on Twitter at RSWeekly. Discord as well. Discord.runeweek.com is the short link for you there. We're also over on YouTube. Our RuneScape Weekly over on YouTube. Magebit.tv is our Twitch. And I think that's about it. I'm working on. We're losing all of our custom domains because I'm becoming a cheap bastard. So I'm trying to fix all of our show notes. So bear with me as I work on that. I'm reverting all of that stuff. If you want to support the show, you could do so. Patreon.com/RuneScape, as I was talking about earlier. If you want to check out the pre-show today, get all of that nonsense. That's available there. Patreon.com/RuneScape. Magebit.me, you want to check out our personal projects. Open Minds, our first episode of our new show, just launched today. It's pretty cool. Really enjoyed it. Feel free to add me in game, by the way, if you want. I'm Magebit in game as well, James. And I want to also thank the rest of our top patrons, Sudwood and Ricky A, and 13 others. Really appreciate all of our patrons. Wouldn't be able to do the show if it wasn't for all of you. We'll be back to do it again next week. And don't forget to check out Magebit in the morning. We did 2 Magebits in the mornings last week. We did big adventures on Monday, and then we did another one on Thursday. So double duty last week. So there was 2 audio feeds for Magebit in the morning listeners on Patreon as well. So W. Schneider, I will add you. Right, let me add you real quick. That is the clan add button. Hang on. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, and happy scaping. All right, let me add you real quick. I can cut the podcast, but I don't need to cut the stream. I have horrible eyesight, and I'm looking at a monitor that's like 3 feet away from me. I think I typed that correctly. Feel free, if you have any questions about the game, to ask me. I've been playing for 18 years, so I know a few things. But I do have to, unfortunately, do some things in life. So I will be back a little bit later in the day. I'm going to take like an hour off, and then I'm going to edit today's show, and then be playing for the rest of the day. But happy scaping, and I will be doing a rerun for anyone who wants to rewatch today's show, or if you missed any of today's show. So take care.